Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 888-525-REDY. 888-525-READY.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Justice Department announces criminal charges against 15 people in Minnesota in a series of Medicaid fraud schemes that prosecutors say cost taxpayers $90 million. Assistant Attorney General Colin McDonald.
Our cases today involve 7 different state-managed Medicaid programs that have been systematically pilfered by fraudsters who treated Minnesota-run programs as their personal piggy bank.
Meantime, Amy Bach, the convicted ringleader of the $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud scheme, has been sentenced to more than 40 years in prison. Prosecutors said she orchestrated the largest pandemic fraud case in the country, which diverted money meant to feed hungry children. President Trump has not wavered in his position that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon or keep its enriched uranium.
We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
CBS's Aaron Navarro.
We're seeing in the recent report today from Reuters that the Iranian supreme leader has rejected that altogether, saying that the enriched uranium must stay in the country.
Iran says it's looking over the latest U.S. peace proposal. Trump says he'll wait a couple of days. President Trump says it looks like he'll be the president that intervenes in Cuba. Many have considered it. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Before heading to Europe for a NATO meeting, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the administration hopes for a negotiated settlement with Cuba, but it's unlikely as of now.
The president's preference is always a negotiated agreement that's peaceful. That's always our preference. That remains our preference with Cuba. I'm just being honest with you. You know, the likelihood of that happening, given who we're dealing with right now, is not high.
Rubio said over the years, Cuban authorities have just waited the U.S. out, but that won't happen this time.
Tennessee's governor grants convicted murderer Tony Carruthers a 1-year stay after his execution was stopped. An attorney for Carruthers who was there says officials struggled to find a vein for an hour. Carruthers was sentenced to death after he was found guilty of the 1994 kidnappings and murders of 3 people in Memphis. An Air France flight bound for Detroit was forced last evening to divert to Montreal after being barred from entering the U.S. due to concerns over the Ebola virus. CBS News medical correspondent Dr. Celine Gounder.
Should people be worried about this? No, you're not going to catch Ebola from sitting next to somebody who doesn't have symptoms on the plane. And I think it was really sending the wrong message for the flight attendants to be masking up, because that's going to be scaring people unnecessarily.
Sure. Homeland Security says any foreign travelers who've been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the last 21 days must now fly into Washington Dulles Airport. Stocks are mixed on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
A new GLP-1 weight loss drug is making headlines. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez explains.
Eli Lilly reports people who took part in a large-scale trial of its next-generation retatrutide lost a lot more weight than obesity drugs already on the market, including the drug maker's own Zepbound. Lilly reports the highest dose helped patients lose more than 28% of their weight in a year and a half. In the heaviest patients, the results on par with gastric bypass surgery. 11% did drop out of the study because of gastrointestinal side effects. The results have not yet been peer-reviewed, published in a medical journal, or submitted for regulatory approval. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Feds give final approval for a controversial segment of the Dakota Access Oil Pipeline that crosses the Missouri River. The decision by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers means the pipeline will continue operating, but with extra safety features. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe has long opposed the pipeline. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Weather sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage.
The forecast remains cool and unsettled through the holiday weekend. Plenty of clouds today with some showers at times with a high 65. For tonight, the chance for showers continue, especially early with a low 55. And an overcast day on Friday. A shower is possible, especially south of the city, with a high 65.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
WPHT HD WOGL HD3 Philadelphia from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
From South Philly streets to the WPHT line, Tony Bruno's talking sports and killing time. 3 to 7, yeah, the King's on the air with a Philly style swagger and that Tony Bruno stare. Back in the studio, Justin riding shotgun. Philly afternoons feeling hotter than the sun. From the wings to the mic, yeah, Tony's the boss. 12 times on with that Bruno sauce. From Broad Street bars to the Jersey Shore, when Tony hits the mic, you keep coming back for more. Tony Bruno on WPHT, yeah.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Good afternoon. Trying to find a pen or pencil. I don't know what, everything in my bag is gone. I think I got carjacked, jacked. Good afternoon. It is the afternoon show, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I'm absolutely shot now, ladies. Now, I will give it an E for effort today. Well, I'm not complaining. I feel good. Life is great. So what if we went from August back to April in a couple of days? It's raining, and you know that. A lot of people had some problems last night with the weather, some areas. Just be careful out there. But I got to tell you guys, you know how much I love my city of Philadelphia. But the area around 30th and Chestnut, Walnut, and Market is an absolute disaster area. Somebody should drop a Moab on that thing right now. Everybody's impatient. It's raining, honking, lights change, nobody moves. People are honking for the people who are stuck in the middle of the intersection. Just relax, people. Just relax. And remember, Frankie said relax back in the day. I wonder if Matt DeSantis got that reference.
He did not.
Oh, man, really? This is how we're going to start? Justin Otero, did you get the Frankie says relax reference?
I'm loading in all the clips. I'll be honest.
That's all. I didn't mean to throw that to you, like right into the middle of the beginning of the program. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun. Frankie Goes to Hollywood did that song, Relax, Don't Do It. Let me relax,
I know that song.
Don't do it. If you want to. We don't have any Ebola, though. We'll be having an Ebola update. And if you're coming from the Congo, you're probably going to sign with the 76ers or some NBA team. But if you're coming from the Congo or Uganda, especially if you're a relative of the Ugandan mayor of New York, Mayor Mamdani, then you should get checked. Because did you see the story like last night, the big story? So there was a dude, an American, was on an airplane heading to Detroit, and then they found out he had Ebola, and they took him to Canada. So you're not even allowed to be in the United States if you have Ebola, but they're going to take you up in Canada? I don't get it, but Ebola. Are you worried about, is that the next big, there's 3 countries now where this stuff comes from. It's Sudan, the Congo, and Uganda. So those are 3 I'm crossing up my summer vacation list right now. I've had enough of diseases and problems and ticks and Ebola and hantavirus. Oh, man. But we'll get through it. It's not really cold out. I got a long sleeve on and it's raining, so I found an umbrella. But it's nice. It's nice. I am looking for the ink pen. I had like 6 of them in my bag.
You've got no pens in there?
No, I found one.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice one here. What station is this?
Not WPHT. We don't have
No, this is a WBEB pen.
Oh, wow.
More FM. Is that station still on the air? The one thing about radio stations in Philly, if you're trying to find the station you used to listen to, it's probably changed formats and call letters at least 10 times. I'm like, what happened to this station? I'm walking through the building here, and there's like 50 radio stations. And I'm like, what's that station? And then the soft rock stations are now playing heavy metal.
B101's still here, though. They're somewhere down the hallway.
Yeah, but they're not playing soft. They're not playing elevator music anymore.
No, I don't know what they're playing.
No, they're playing everything. They're playing banging stuff. Listen, I love all music, but I'm hearing like strip club music, which you never heard on B101. But hey, that's what happens in the business. In the word, yeah, not in the words of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. In the words of Aaron Rodgers. RELAX. Relax. I don't know if Steeler fans are going to relax now that he's back in Pittsburgh. But Ebola is served at fine Mexican restaurants. You're right, Gary Stam. I had some of that the other night. Luckily, it didn't have any stuff in it. Meanwhile, we're just getting this party started. So we got all kinds of fraud going on, but who didn't know that? So today, not only does Minnesota have a fraud in Governor Walz and in Ilhan Omar, who married her own brother and doesn't want to answer any questions when it comes to her involvement in the Somali fraud that's been going on. And Nick Shirley is the guy, as you know, the kid who went in there and discovered that. But now, all of a sudden, things are going down today. First of all, the woman, did you see her, did you see this Amy Box shot, her mug shot?
Yeah, it was a rough mug shot.
Man, oh man. She wasn't feeding her face either. Feeding our future founder, say that fast 5 times. Feeding our future founder, Amy Bach, gets 40-plus years in the slammer for her role in the Minnesota $250 million of fraud. Remember, because they were supposed to feed our families and feed meals to people who didn't have any food during the pandemic. Remember that? All we were being fed was BS about the shots. You got to get your shots. You're not going to get this. So while that was going on, the folks in Minnesota, like Amy Bach, she was a ringleader, but obviously she's the only one going to jail so far. $250 million, and I don't think she's going to get a lot of action in jail. If you've seen her mugshot, that would be, I don't think she's getting much prison sex. Because I worry about 40 years in jail. Not that I'm going to get 40. I worry about when I see people, they're going to go to jail. Even when she didn't have her mugshot. And by the way, her mugshot, and I'm not here to insult people's appearances. I'm no Don Juan Bruno. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not. I'm not saying B101 is metal, but they're playing bangers. They're not playing soft rock. They don't even play yacht rock. You know what I'm saying? Remember, it used to be Easy 101. Remember that? Isn't that the same radio station?
I think it is.
Yeah, it's the same frequency. Easy 101. And it played elevator music. The place to relax. Yeah, how many times has 104.5 WSNI changed call letters and formats? When I was there, it was sunny, and then it changed. And that's what happens in the business. You know, because you got managers and people who run the radio stations trying to say, okay, well, when our ratings went down, our ratings just went down. We got to try another format. Let's try Mexican rock and roll. Amy Bachman Turner Overdrive. That's a good one there. Amy Bach. Imagine that. Imagine going to jail for 40 years.
She's 45, too, so she's actually not going to get out until she's 46, 47.
No, she's 45 now.
Sorry, 86, 87.
Yeah. And I'm no expert on, I'm sure she's not going to be able to get facial medication there or get rid of the zits and all of that other stuff. Man. Who said squirrel? Is somebody insinuating that I can't stay focused on one topic? I'm reading the chat, and we welcome everybody to the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, 1210 WPHT Afternoons, just hit that like button, subscribe. We got 98 people watching. I know it's a miserable afternoon. Alice 104.5. Remember that? And then there was Jack and Jill and Ben FM and Jim FM and then Joe FM and all the FMs. Is there any stations with now like quirky names in Philly? Because it used to be Ben and Jack and Jim and Jill and Alice. Is it Alice 104.5 now?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't even find this radio station, and I'm in the building, and I've been coming here for 2 weeks. It's like a maze in here. Not Harry Mays, who, by the way, will be back with me next Tuesday. How about that for a transition, huh?
That was pretty smooth.
Damn right, man. You think I just have a lovely speaking voice and average intelligence? Come on, man.
And an above-average mugshot, better than Amy.
Yeah. I
Amy
mean,
Bach.
I don't have them. I've never been fingerprinted or had a mugshot. But you know, I still got a lot of life to live. I hope. You never know. I'll tell you today, if I didn't get a parking spot, I probably would have been arrested. I didn't think I was going to make it in today, and that was at 2:00, and I was a block away.
I'm just glad you didn't get a ticket yesterday. I was nervous that you were going to get
you were
hit
nervous.
Twice. Well, I thought there was a decent shot you were going to get hit twice yesterday.
Well, thanks a lot, man. By the way, I've got the meter number of that neighborhood I am in now.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you my credit. I'm not going to have you pay because I owe you like $100.
Well, you don't owe me $100. It's like $11 or something.
No. I'm going to pay it now. But you have to see because I can't get into the stinking meter up act. Now, the guy that was there is a nice African-American man who didn't give me the ticket yesterday. It was some Asian dude. His last name was Yu or something like that. So I know this brother wasn't named Yu. And he was nice. He said, hey. I said, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm just getting here. I know, there's a 12-hour parking area, but I don't want to get a ticket. Can you give me like a few minutes to go to work right across the street there, and then I'll go to the park? He said, no, you get the first hour free. So now I know. So that was at 2:45. So it's going to be your job now, Matt DeSantis, not just to produce this radio show and provide the best guests and the best phone calls available. But now I have the you have my license plate number?
I have it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have this is the zone though. You got to be in the zone, not AutoZone.
Get
just the zone.
Yeah.
And I have my Disney credit card. Now, don't go to Disney.
Well, don't flash your credit card on the YouTube
Here's that.
stream. Stop.
No, you can't see my number on there.
Well,
it's on the back.
You're turning it around.
No, I'm not. You cannot see my number.
All right. I just want to make sure. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of people to get free parking in Philadelphia. I will watch your car
Not John
like a
Yoo,
hawk.
who's on Fox News all the time, the great law professor from out in Stanford. That's great. Now, see, I love when the audience gets involved in, because Harry Mays and I used to do this all the time. It would be, we'd mention a name and then, no, not John Yoo, not Rumba 106.1.
John Yoo, a friend of the show. He's been on a
Oh, I love John Yoo.
Yeah, he's the man. I will watch your car like a hawk, Tony. You have my word. You will not get another ticket this week.
If I see somebody giving me a ticket, I will burst out of the studio and I will absolutely leave, and there'll be dead air. You'll have to go right to dial tone.
We'll have to go to Jennifer Kuiper.
We'll go to Jennifer Kuiper
on her final day.
CBS News.
Now,
This is her final day?
This is it. This is her last day.
This is the last day.
I
No!
I don't know if you want to listen to her one more time. It's our last chance. Maybe we'll do it in the 6
You know who
o'clock.
else's last day it is? It's Colbert, right? It is his last show
Yeah, it's his
tonight?
last night. Jimmy Kimmel was begging his audience to not tune in to ABC, but to tune in to CBS.
Oh, how
instead.
very nice of him. Because Jimmy Kimmel has a dumb enough company in ABC that gave him a new contract, while his guy who bombed, that's why they're getting rid of him. The reason Colbert's leaving is not because he was an overwhelming success. It's because his show failed. Because they were doing the same. They all should have shared the same writers. They could have saved a lot of money if The Tonight Show, if Jimmy Kimmel, and if Colbert all had the same writers. Because they all read from the same script. Right? They all went on the one show together one night. And even that guy from HBO, I don't know anybody who watches Last Week Tonight, whatever, with that British dude. Who is that guy?
John Oliver.
Yeah, John. Does anybody watch that show?
I forgot it was even on.
I only knew it was on because he was one of the 5 white dudes who went on the same couch, talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, huh?
Well, they're all claiming that Colbert's show is being canceled because CBS is terrified of Donald Trump. But in actuality, the reason is because the show loses $40 million every single year.
Exactly. Hello.
Why would you keep that on the air?
Hello.
It's just not financially sustainable.
That's exactly what companies do. You know, and his contract was running out, and they didn't extend his contract. That's what happens when you don't want, and they already have his replacement, who's actually going to sell time himself. And it's Comics Unleashed. And that'll have comedy. Something they haven't had on late night, except for Gutfeld. They haven't had, when was the last late night show featuring a guy who had made you laugh? Unless you laugh at political jokes where it's just ripping Trump and ripping Republicans or whatever else. Seriously. When was the last time late night? I remember, when we would watch the 11 o'clock news, and then the 10 o'clock news came on, so I was still young enough to stay up for the 11 o'clock news. And then at 11:30, Johnny Carson came on, right?
I thought Conan was kind of funny, and hey, he's no fan of Trump, but he didn't really.
No,
veer into
he went
politics
over the
too
deep. He went over the deep edge
Did
now.
he?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
He was pretty political during the Oscars, I thought, but I didn't think his late night show was all that.
No,
political.
not that. No, because remember when they hired him, they didn't think he was going to work because they just threw him in there and said, "Let's see what this redheaded dude can do." And that's what happened. You used to get an audition, like Jack Parr was on, and then Johnny Carson got the job. And then Dick Cavett had a show. And Craig Ferguson, I even liked that dude. He was funny, and they canceled him.
Leno was pretty good.
He had a long run. And then they got rid of him, and then they brought him back.
I think, because Conan's ratings weren't very strong, I believe.
No, because Conan was the new kid on the block. Listen, I don't have problems with anything. I don't care if they talk about politics, but people aren't. I watched late night back then, and most people did. After the news, you got home, and then what happens? Then, boom, you watch Johnny Carson, the monologue, celebrity guest, movie, it was fun. By the way, now people are still talking about the radio stations. Power 99, is that still on? Or did the electric bills go up too high and they had to shut it down? I remember at 1 o'clock after Johnny Carson got off, and even like 6 ABC, because ABC had Dick Cavett. Right? There were still three. The major three networks had late night shows, and you picked and choose who you wanted to watch in late night. And then I remember at 1 o'clock, they would play the national anthem, and then they would go to a test pattern. Remember that? No, you're too young for that.
I don't remember that.
They would go to a test pattern. There was nothing on all night. Not even my underwear.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to worry about that stuff back then. You know what I mean?
That show's off to a hot start.
Come on, man. This is a serious program. Not going to let a little rain and the temperature plunging 50 degrees in one day throw a monkey wrench into this finely oiled machine. Come on. It is Thirsty Thursday, but we don't have any alcohol in here today, and we don't need it. For other people, when I made a comment about I only had one drink, because I don't have to have drinks. And I'm not trying to insult people who are, alcoholics who don't drink anymore. I commend people who had alcohol problems and can get off of it. Luckily, I've never had an alcohol problem, seriously. So I don't brag how much I can drink. I don't do that stuff. I've had one cocktail in a week. You know why? Because I went out to dinner with our sales manager, and we're in the Fittler Club. And he ordered a cocktail, and he ordered a vodka drink, and I ordered a vodka drink. I didn't order a whiskey drink, and then he ordered a vodka drink, and then I bought another drink that reminds me of the good times, and another drink that reminds me of the... Remember that song? I get knocked down, and I get up again.
Tub thumping.
Yes.
Chumbawamba.
I worked with George Michael, who did the George Michael Sports Machine. He was a DJ at WFIL when I was there as a young kid. He was and then he went and did the New York Islanders hockey games. He went from DJ to having a sports show, and national sports show, the Sports Machine, where he would say, let's go to the videotape and show highlights with the big machine there with the tape, and he'd hit the button. Remember when the TV had that 8-inch wide tape? That's where the video was on?
There's a different George Michael than I'm thinking of, correct?
Yeah, George Michael was the DJ. He was King George Michael, he called himself. Before we can, now we can't say anybody's a king. He was King George of the radio. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the situation. We got serious stuff coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about the situation going on now in Cuba. Somebody posted, obviously Raul Castro, who's Castro's brother, Fidel Castro, the original Castro, not Castro Convertibles, which was another chain store I forgot to mention yesterday. You remember Castro Convertibles? I didn't think so. So we'll have Michael Letts, Letts. He's a global security expert, and we're going to talk about what's going on his organization, what's going on with Raul Castro. So Raul Castro was indicted yesterday, in case you missed it, and the situation is, what are we going to do with Cuba? Now, the people in Cuba don't want Castro there. Just like the people in Iran don't want the mullahs. The Iran situation, it's a huge country. That's the problem. And they're hiding stuff. The Cubans, people want to know what's going on. And the people don't want any Castro or communism in Cuba anymore. As I mentioned, I have a lot of Cuban friends in Florida, many of them who go back and forth to Cuba to go visit their friends because they can do that. And there are people now who are flying to Cuba, Americans who can fly there. But the country is still destitute. They got all the old great cars riding around and great cigars, but the people there, they want freedom. They want to be able to have gasoline and all the things that modern countries have. No, I do not get free parking due to my colitis condition. Not even Crohn's disease. Not even if I faked a limp and pretended I was handicapped. Not even if I had a walker, a stroller, or any kind of way. Anyway, let's get it back to Joe in Southwest Philly. Oh, we got to take a break, right? Should we get Joe in here real quick?
Yeah, you can squeeze Joe in.
Joe, what do you got in Southwest Philadelphia this afternoon, man?
I've sat down and written a song. I'm thinking about making a play out of this, and I will give it to you, and you tell me what you think.
Now, is this a one-act play? Because I don't know how you can write one song and make it into a play. You got to have multiple. If you have a musical, you just can't sing the same song for an hour and a half.
Well, this is the intro.
Okay.
And it's called The View.
The View.
And anybody who's ever seen The View will know exactly what I mean.
All right.
So here we go. I can't use their real names 'cause I'm scared of being sued, but I think you'll know exactly who is who. Poopy Goldberg dresses like she fell through a homeless man's clothesline.
Like it.
Mm-hmm. Sonny Hostel dresses with drapes from her house. Joyless Blowhard will wear anything that'll fit her. And the other two, I don't know nothing about. It's The View. It's The View. And sometimes Vanello, what's her name, will pop her head in to tell you that she's a Latino, like you care. She was born in Nicaragua. That's why she's living here. The View, The View. Let me tell you what they're going to tell you.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
No, this is good. I like it.
If Obama said it, it's got to be true. If Trump said it, well, he's lying to you. And if Biden said it, well, he never knew. That's The View.
Wow, I can see that right now on Broad Street at the Kimmel Center. Not the Jimmy Kimmel Center. I can see that right now. I can get Miss Robin, a musical theater major, her daughter who went to musical theater at Temple, and we can already start rehearsals. By after Memorial Day weekend, we will start rehearsals and get this baby.
I think that's a great idea.
What about Walnut Street Theater? Where would you rather get this thing started?
Or we could do the Hallmark Channel and make it a series.
Awesome.
That'd be totally up to you.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that with you.
That's all right, Joe. People want entertainment. You know, that's what we're always looking for, fresh faces and new songs and new talent. Thank you,
All
buddy.
right,
Thanks for checking in, Joe.
Thank you.
A great show. And he just sat down and put together a masterpiece.
You know what? That was actually pretty funny.
It was.
When he told me that he wrote a song, I was expecting disaster, but I thought it was good.
That sounds like he ain't no Pavarotti.
Probably get somebody else to sing it, but the lyrics were funny.
By the way, coming up, we'll also get into the CNN broke a story today that people are actually interested in. And I'm shocked. We'll tell you about that. We're going to take a break. Come back. We're going to talk to an expert on global security and a U.S. Army veteran and the CEO of the Invest USA, a grassroots nonprofit helping hundreds of communities equip police departments with thousands of bullet-resistant vests through education, public relations, sponsorships. And that's what it is. A lot of people want to defund the police. This man's trying to help the police stay safe out there when we have politicians who hate the police, including that moron right here that just won the other day. We'll talk about him, too. It's Tony Bruno, Talk Radio 1210 in the afternoon on right here. We're coming right back.
Hit the road this season to watch the Birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
The Memorial Day sales event is going on now at Tri-County Toyota. Take advantage of special savings across our lineup, like a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% APR financing. And ask about our veteran specials. It's our way of saying thank you to those who served. Visit us at 15 D&L Drive in Royersford or online at tricountytoyota.com. With approved credit. Final price includes $4.90 doc fee. Expires June 1st, 2026.
Do you think that banking is boring? At PNC, we know that meeting the banking needs of the community is anything but boring. That's why PNC Bank geared up this year and introduced the mobile branch across the region to bring banking services to underserved neighborhoods. And long before that, PNC Community Development Banking was leading the way in investing in the economic health of our neighborhoods. To see the brilliant results that boring banking can deliver for you, stop into any PNC branch right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Anna Garcia, host of True Crime News, the podcast. Every week, we bring you in-depth coverage on cases making headlines, as well as those that go under the radar. Tune in for murders that defy explanation, mysteries seeking exploration, and shocking secrets that will leave you breathless. Each week, we honor the victims by going beyond the salacious in our search for justice. Crime never stops, and neither do we. Listen to True Crime News, available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Nintendo is hiking the price of its Switch 2 game console by $50 to $500 as the company looks to offset profit pressures. Nintendo says its hardware business is feeling pressure from a global electronics component shortage and higher shipping costs due to the Iran conflict. Even with weakening sales, the Switch was the top-selling gaming console in March, according to industry tracker Circana. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You already know how much I love my Chapman windows, doors, and siding, but did you know they also repair screens? And right now, they have some fantastic spring specials going on. Screen repairs start at just $30. When you repair 3 screens, you get 1 free. Mix and match window and patio door screens. Save hundreds with Chapman's in-home special right now, covering up to 30 screens for just $1,500. Or you can drop off your screens at their Westchester showroom, and they'll have them ready for you for pickup, up to 30 screens for just $750. Whether they come to you or you come to them, Chapman's team handles everything with incredible care and precision. Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. Call or text 610-431-8898, 610-431-8898. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
He sings the songs that remind him. Oh, Danny boy. I get knocked on, and then I get up and punch somebody in the face for a parking spot.
This song's good, but I like Joe's more.
Joe was good, yeah.
Joe was great.
I think if we get Chumbawamba to work with Joe, we could get that musical underway probably by the 4th of July and bring them to the Roots picnic here in Fairmount Park. All right, let's get serious now for a moment, please. Because obviously, we're still looking at the Iran situation. The Iran military is now supposedly rebuilding. I don't know how they're doing that, but we got another situation developing. And yesterday, the big story, of course, was the indictment of Raul Castro by the United States. And Raul Castro, people were saying, Raul Castro, remember, Obama went to a baseball game with this dude. But now, a lot of people can't forget what happened, what Cuba's done. And you don't have to go back 50 years when you talk about Cuba and how the people have been repressed there. And Cuba has done bad things to us as well. When I say us, the American people. Joining us right now is Michael Letts. He's a global security expert, Army veteran, founder of the CEO of the Invest USA movement to try to get police departments with thousands of bullet-resistant vests going. But he also has done many deployments. And so the focus right now is the 1996 Brothers to the Rescue showdown. And that, once again, is making this story very, very hot right now. I know people don't want to get involved in another country. Nobody does. But let's bring in Michael Betts right now. Michael, thanks for coming on today. And the big question is, the Brothers to the Rescue thing, many people, it's not like it's ancient history. 1996 was long ago to most people, but not in the minds of people who remember what happened on that situation when Raul Castro and his people killed Americans. Thanks for joining us.
No, you're always a privilege, Tony. Thank you for the opportunity. And you are exactly right. We've done a lot of work with our intelligence agencies. And I can tell you this, of course, 96, you're right, wasn't that far back. In fact, that was just 3 years after we had started our cherry. So that was during the time we had started to provide bulletproof vests and body armor for law enforcement officers in need. But in this particular situation, I grew up in Mexico, and I know the Mexican culture, the Cuban culture extremely well, have a lot of friends. And I can tell you this, the organization that they attacked, Rescue Brotherhood, was very simple. It was its purpose was it would put up planes to fly the coastline and to fly in international waters, not Cuban waters, international waters, to see if those who are distressed trying to leave communist Cuba were stranded or stuck or en route. And so we could notify the Coast Guard to make sure that lives were not lost. They were on a routine mission. They were not in Cuban airspace. Sometimes Cuba, just like Iran, tries to say, we own the world when it's not true. But very clearly they were in international airspace. And so they said that they sent word for them to evacuate or to leave the area, and it was not heeded, so they shot them down with MiG airplanes. The fact of the matter is we now have evidence that shows that Raul Castro actually authorized the order himself. They did not give warning. They wanted to send a statement to the United States that they were defend and provoke the United States in any form or fashion, just the same as Iran does. They're big supporters of terrorists. We've dealt with Cuba before. If you will recall, just recently, it was Cuban forces that were sent into Venezuela to protect Maduro. Didn't do them any good. Now did it. We sent them all back in a body bag. But anyway, Cuba has been an antagonistic neighbor of ours for quite some time. Now here's where the real issue lies. Is not only did we issue the indictment for our own, but just within the last 24 hours, we have intelligence now that there is discussion. We're trying to validate, but there is circulation that perhaps Cuba is establishing a base for drones or attack drones, the same that Iran is doing now, trying to continue to harass with the bringing the issue to closure with the Strait of Hormuz. Now, we're not going to allow that 90 miles off the Florida coast because that would expose Florida to all kind of potential threats and attack. That is sovereign territory of the United States of America. We will do whatever is necessary to defend that. Why would they be doing that? Well, it's very simple. Their economy is going south very quick, very rapidly. After we shut down the oil exports from Venezuela to Cuba, Russia attempted to intervene by sending a tanker. We were able to talk some sense into President Putin, They recalled that taker, by the way. And so they no longer have oil exports from Venezuela. What were they doing with it so that our listeners understand? Cuba's economy has been based on the fact they've been getting oil from either Iran or from Venezuela at discounted rock bottom prices, turn around and sell that to China because China's a big proponent of eating oil, and then take the difference, pay off their debt, and then keep the difference to keep their economy running. Well, when that oil line got shut down, their economy is floundering exceptionally quickly. It can't be over for the other thing that they were doing before. This was decades ago. Was tourism. Cuba's a beautiful place if you've ever been there.
Absolutely.
And, a wonderful place for tourism. But once communism came over, it shut all that down. So they lost that whole venue of money that was coming into Cuba. So they became dependent on handouts from the Soviet Union at the time, or then Russia. Russia's gotten wise and said, we're not going to continue to support an economy that we have a problem with our own economy. Let's try to support somebody else. So they shut down all that foreign aid. They became dependent on this oil exchange that they had in place. That just got shut down. So they're struggling desperately to keep themselves in power. They're fixing to collapse. You know what happens when people are fixing to collapse. They get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're trying to reach out and antagonize U.S., trying to make a statement for themselves to try to find some relief. They're not even sure what kind of relief they could give, but they're trying to find something now, and they're fixing to find themselves in a whole lot of hot water.
Now, the indictment of Raul Castro, because, we didn't go in and get him like the mission in Venezuela, which was unbelievably successful, but he's not that far away. So does this indictment force us? Can we extradite him here to face charges? And what about, because, nobody wants us, you know it, I know it, the people in Cuba are just like the regular people in Iran. They're being held hostage by, at least the weather's nicer and they got beautiful beaches and it's an amazing island in the Caribbean. But the people there do not want, I have a lot of Cuban friends in Florida, a lot of people in the building industry that I've gotten to know, and they're the nicest people ever. They're just friendly.
Sure.
They love their country, but they love America more. And they came here because they wanted to be here. A lot of them risked their lives to come here. Yesterday I was mentioning, remember when Bill Clinton had the little kid in the closet with the rifle fire in front of him back in those days during the Mariel boat lift, right? Wasn't that one? Because people are still trying to get out of Cuba by rowboats and rafts to this day.
To this very day, to this very moment, they're still trying to get out. It's slowed down a little bit, only because of the fact that there's a lot of hope in Cuba that perhaps with this administration, we went in and freed the people of Venezuela from tyranny, and they feel comfortable that we're fixing to do the same thing with Cuba. And it's very simple. We're not having to put, just like we did in Venezuela, we're not having to put a lot of boots on the ground, anything along those lines. This president knows how to push the right buttons to destroy the economies and let them reap their own, what they've sowed, instead of propping them up and watch them collapse on their own. And yes, to answer your initial question, we did the same thing with Maduro. Now that a warrant an indictment has been issued, we have every right to extradite it and go in and get him. Obviously, they're not going to put him on a boat and hand him over to us. We're going to have to go in and get him. But we've already demonstrated we could do that as we did in Venezuela. And trust me, just tell them to ask their dead soldiers that we've sent back in body bags how effective we can be at extraditing and bringing somebody out. We've got ordinances and we have military capabilities that the world is even unaware of as of this date.
Now, Cuba is a larger island than many of the other Caribbean islands, but it's beautiful, beaches all around. How difficult would it be for an invasion to go get this guy? I mean, it can't be at the level of Venezuela. I mean, he was underground. Yeah. You think he's hiding? I mean, will there be a lot of resistance to trying to get this guy out of there so that the people can be free and we can actually help with sending oil so these people don't starve to death?
They had much greater resistance in Venezuela. And what did it take us? Less than an hour to finish the job with no casualties? Yeah, we have a couple other situations that are unique in Cuba. A staging area. We have Gitmo that's there on the tip of the peninsula.
Yep.
We have, supplies. I mean, there are so many advantages to this that it would, we could be doing this in our sleep. And they know it. And they don't have the capacity. Yes, they'll be trying to defend him and try to secure and protect him. But our intelligence will show us exactly what we need to know where he's at. We have the perfect capability with our special forces, with Delta and others, to go in and extract very quickly. And we will basically, and this is where Congress has to understand before all the Democrats get themselves up in an uproar. We're not going in to change an administration. We are going in to serve a warrant for an indictment that has been done. This is a law enforcement matter.
Mm-hmm.
Once we go in and secure the assailant, which would be Raul Castro, law enforcement, U.S. Marshals will be the ones that step forward, read him his rights, cuff him before we put him on a helicopter to bring him back.
So, and the bigger question is, because everybody's like, well, no, we're not going to get involved in Cuba now after we got involved in Iran. But this is a totally different situation, and the fact that it's so close to us, does that make it easier or more difficult? Because people don't want to have, this is not going to be another war, right?
That is correct. It's not going to be another war. And let's go back, because we'll tie in. I mean, I'm happy to talk about Iran as well. Folks, here's what we have to understand. This administration has promised to secure the American people, whether it's closing borders, whether it's deporting criminals, whether it is keeping known governments who support terrorism. That is Iran and Cuba. And Cuba is only 90 miles away. And our intelligence shows that they are preparing for drone activity, which could very easily come in and do a lot of damage, a lot of deaths to America in Florida and up the East Coast. It's just simply something we're not going to tolerate. Iran was funding terrorists. We lost thousands of Americans over the last few decades who were victims of terrorist attacks that were funded by Iran. This president has said, you're not going to harm or threaten to harm Americans anymore. It's done, it's over, and we're going to clean it up. And so Cuba's in the same boat as Iran is in. You saw what we're doing there now. I realize that it causes some consternation. I don't like paying any more for gas for a little while than anybody else does. But to secure our citizens and our children and our grandchildren for future generations, it's well worth it. We have to do whatever we need to do to secure the American future, and that includes making sure that Cuba can no longer be a threat, which they're becoming more of a threat today than they were yesterday, and it's time we eliminate that.
Now, what if Greta Thunberg gets on another boat and goes to Cuba to save the people there like she tried to do with Gaza?
Well, I'm offering to pay their gas, and I'm sure plenty of your listeners will probably help me out with that if it gets too expensive.
So again, I agree. Listen, you know Cuban people. I know Cuban people. They don't want any Castros anymore. They want to be free, no. And I don't think this will be. I don't think the citizens of Cuba, the ones who still live there, or the Americans in Cuba, many of them in Miami and all over the South, they're going to be dancing in the streets if we get rid of Raul Castro. Are they not?
They are, and quite frankly, I will expand on that a little bit. You're going to see people all over the globe dancing in the street. Here's what's interesting: you got a little small island like Cuba that's exporting its soldiers to Angola, to other places to help bring governments down and restore communism. People are tired of that little chihuahua basically running around barking at everybody. They're ready to put it back in its cage and get rid of it.
Well, we got a guy here in Pennsylvania that was just elected, and he's anti-America, he's anti-Israel, he hates the police, he hates everything. So we're going to have our own communist revolution here in Pennsylvania with all these democratic socialists. And it's now the new flavor in the Democratic Party, because just straight out Democrats are not enough anymore. You got to have the socialists. You got to have this. And I don't. That's not my decision. They're making the Working Families Party. 16 different outcroppings of the Democratic Party. At least in the Republican Party, you got MAGA, and then you got Republicans, and maybe some just flat out conservatives. But the Democrats are coming up with all these offshoots, and I don't know how people don't get confused, especially when you see some of the candidates that they're trotting out there.
Well, I would say we'd ship them to Cuba or ship them to Mexico. Mexico is next after Cuba. So we're going to have to get them out of the Western Hemisphere, because this administration believes in the Monroe Doctrine. We're going to protect the Western Hemisphere from tyranny and from any threats to our national security. So maybe we'll ship them over. Maybe we'll ship them to China. It might do very well in China.
A slow boat to China. Remember, we used to use that term. We're going to put you on a slow boat to China.
Yeah, I think it's time to revive that.
And remember when we were kids, we used to dig in the backyard, and my mother would say, or your parents would say, "You're going to dig yourself to China." Remember, if you kept digging too deep, they thought that if we kept digging, we would get to China. Was that accurate? Was that technically correct? If we kept digging and got through the center of the Earth and the Earth's core, and we emerged on the other side, would that be China, or would that be the South Pole?
I think it'd be close to being to China. And here's the great part about it. I think we should help the Democrats do that. If there's a collapse or a cave-in, it just happens.
Absolutely. I got some shovels. We can get some excavation equipment going.
Yes, of course, it may take a little time because, after all, we don't want to move too quickly because we believe what the Democrats do, that we want to protect the environment. So we'll be slow at moving that excavation equipment, but we'll get around to it at some point in time.
Well, Michael, it's been a lot of it's educational, but we're having a little fun here. But so do you think this is going to happen sooner than later with this Cuban situation? Because I know we saw one of our ambassadors was there sitting down with this one could be negotiated quickly as opposed to what's going on in Iran, because you have so many different people who are trying to run that government. Most of them are dead, but whoever's around is still trying to stall that thing. If this happens, could there be a diplomatic answer and get this thing done without any kind of crazy nonsense and delays and threats? And because they don't really have anything to give us, they need the oil. The people there need things to live on, and the government's going to be overthrown, and whoever they put in there has got to be better than Castro. You can't have a communist running Cuba anymore.
No, you're exactly right. I think what you're going to see very quickly is just what you mentioned. This president believes in giving you a chance first. There'll be some diplomatic negotiations and exchange. Always in the back of their mind, we'll make sure they are reminded that we have a limited amount of patience if they don't want to be progressive and assist the people of Cuba. We can always send in units that are necessary to finish the job. But I think Cuba probably understands that a little bit better than Iran did. Iran was just totally off its rocker.
Well, I live in Florida, not too far from Cuba, so if they need help for me to go down there and help some of the senoritas get out of San Juan, out of Havana, or even Gitmo, I'll go to Gitmo and help some people. That's how much I love the Cuban people.
I love it. I will keep this in mind because I plan on leading the charge up San Juan Hill once again. And, we will take it from there. I appreciate your offer for Gitmo, but I think we've got a bunch of people that we're going to be sending to Gitmo that are going to be in handcuffs.
As long as they don't shut that down like they're shutting down Alligator Alcatraz down there in my neck of the woods.
Well, we're going to open that up again.
I hope so. Just get better air conditioning in there and get the alligators away from there. Just build a fence, build a wall.
Well, we figure, we believe in the democratic philosophy. Those alligators deserve the humane treatment as well, and they're hungry.
Exactly.
We try to balance everything, folks. There's got to be a balance.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was fun and educational and fun at the same time. Who says you can't do that?
That's what America's all about.
Damn right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time. Thanks.
God bless America.
Michael Betts, ladies. Michael Letts, not Mookie Betts. He still plays for the Dodgers, I think, right? Yes. Michael A. Letts, ladies. We're going to take a break now. Are we going to hear from, what's her name again? Jennifer Kuiper in her swan songs.
We'll probably hear. I think we should play her one last time at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
It'll be our swan farewell. Farewell to Jennifer Kuiper. Stocks are mixed today on Wall Street. We're coming right back.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage. There was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
Hi, this is Dave Barlow from Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury, New Jersey. Baseball is back, spring is here, and it's time to step up to the plate at Barlow. If you're looking for a grand slam this year, get behind the wheel of the GMC Sierra, built to knock expectations out of the park. Or ride in style with the Buick Envista. Whether you're heading to the ballpark or rounding the bases of your daily commute, the Envista delivers. Visit Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury or shop 24/7 at barlowautogroup.com. Buick, exceptional by design. GMC, we are professional grade.
If clutter is costing you time, fix it right away. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, and home offices. Schedule a free design consultation at closetfactory.com. closetfactory.com.
I'm Altima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Living here is about more than just the headlines. It's the new restaurant opening in Fishtown. It's the playoff energy at the bank. It's the festivals that make your neighborhood feel like home.
KYW News Radio brings you the pulse of the Delaware Valley. From service journalism that solves problems to stories that celebrate our culture, we cover the life you're actually living.
Authentic, local, factual. KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news source.
You know what I love? American-made products, baby. That's right. It's Rich Zioli. American-made products, and that's what you get from Emmons Roofing and Siding. Owens Corning shingles are made in New Jersey. Certainteed siding made right outside of Philly. Provia windows and doors handcrafted in Ohio. And because Emmons is platinum with Owens Corning, your roof comes with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That's accountability on American-made quality from an American company right in our backyard. EmmonsRoofing.com. EmmonsRoofing.com.
If you're in the Philadelphia area and caring for a loved one with Medicaid, get paid starting today. Freedom Care has already helped over 162,000 families get the care they deserve, with 97% satisfaction and more than 8,000 five-star reviews. If you have Medicaid, you need to hear this. You may qualify to choose a caregiver you already trust, a family member or friend, and they can start getting paid. No agencies, no strangers, just someone you know, helping with meals, medication, bathing, mobility, and more. This service isn't for later, it's for right now. It's 100% free to you through Medicaid, and caregivers get paid right away after their shift. Find out if you qualify today. Call 267-535-2174. That's 267-535-2174. Don't wait. Call 267-535-2174 now. Again, that's 267-535-2174. Freedom Care. Get paid to care starting now.
When you're shopping for a diamond, you've heard of the 4 C's: color, cut, clarity, and carat. But at Cozy Jewelers, there's a 5th C: cozy. Because when you deal direct with Paul Cozy, the designer and manufacturer, you're getting heirloom-level craftsmanship without middleman markups. Custom doesn't cost more. What costs more is poor quality that won't last. Step up to the 5th C: color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Visit Cozy Jewelers and design something truly yours.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
It's Tony Bruno in the chair, flying solo on the air. From 3 to 7 Philly ride, 12:10, he's your guide. Hot takes and laughs, he'll never miss a beat. When Bruno's on the mic, you know he brings the heat. So tune the dial to the best in the nation. Matt and Justin hold it down, producing at the station. WPHT, bringing the finest in our radio. Yeah, Tony on the mic for the 3 to 7 show.
And welcome to the Hotel Sheets in downtown Plunketville. It's the Tony Bruno Show in the afternoon. I love that. We may change formats and go like all Frank Sinatra stuff. Maybe big bands, bring that back. I was talking earlier about how stations keep changing. Nothing changes here. We talk the talk and we walk the walk. And good afternoon. It's 4:06 on a Thursday. It's a little misty, rain, but it beats 100 degrees, doesn't it? I don't know. 100 degrees is bad, but then walking in the rain if you don't have an umbrella is not too great either. Now, we got a lot to talk about. We're talking about Cuba last hour. We got so much. The DNC autopsy has been released. The one they didn't want to release on what happened in the 2026 election. We all know what happened. Kamala Harris got destroyed and lost $2 billion in the process. But let's talk about the state of Pennsylvania, the state where I was born, the state that still has perhaps the worst governor in the country. And that's hard to say when you look around and see the other governors. Gavin Newsom's pretty bad, but he's pretty. But let's talk to somebody who understands the state of Pennsylvania. Elizabeth Stell is the Vice President of Policy at the Commonwealth Foundation. She's written Reform, Healthcare, Welfare, Energy, and Government Transparency works. She's been featured in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, even in the Philadelphia Inquirer, where they don't even mention me. And she joins us right now. She lives up in the Pittsburgh area, 4 kids. She enjoys swimming, traveling to historic landmarks, exploring the moral foundations of capitalism, and long walks on the beach. I just threw that in there in case she finds some 86-47. But there's no beaches in Pittsburgh. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us. I tried to get a Jim Comey joke in there, and I messed it up.
Well, we do have rivers.
Oh, I know
no
that.
Beaches, but lots of rivers.
You have the three rivers, the Trois Rivers, the confluence of the Susquehanna, Allegheny, and what's the third river?
The Monongahela.
The Monongahela. That's right. That's why it used to be called Three River Stadium, but nobody talks about the Three Rivers anymore. You got to do something to change that up there, Elizabeth.
Oh, that's in my list.
Now, just like me, Pennsylvania. Now, I know you grew up in Ohio, but you live in Pennsylvania, and you see what Josh Shapiro, by the way, since the election the other day, has been doing like news conferences like every hour, posting about how bad the country is right now because of Trump, blaming Trump for everything. And, I get it. A lot of people don't like Trump, and obviously Shapiro wants to run for president because he knows he's got so much more money than his opponent in the fall election that he doesn't even have to worry about it. He's going to mail it in and win. But what about the corporate handouts? Because today we saw these charges in Minnesota with all the fraud that it took a young man to go expose before we all found out about the Feed Your Family foundations and that $300 and $250 million. The woman in charge, Amy Bach, gets 40-plus years in jail. Now you have Medicaid fraud. The FBI has 15 suspects who apparently swindled $90 million. There's no doubt that anybody who pays taxes, which is pretty much all of us, has to be outraged as we keep seeing this fraud exposed. And I would think Pennsylvania and Josh Shapiro probably have a couple of bucks stashed away that aren't exactly their money.
Yeah, no question about it. Fun fact, Governor Shapiro, when he was Attorney General Shapiro, estimated there was about $3 billion in Medicaid fraud in the state. I'm confident there's much more than that. But now that he's governor, he's in charge of our entire Medicaid program, and he's not prioritizing any attempts to get at the fraud, waste, and abuse. And, to me, that's the major driver of our budget. That's the reason that we're always contemplating tax hikes in Pennsylvania. And so it's just a huge missed opportunity. But unfortunately, that's been his MO, more ways to spend other people's money. And we see that very clearly in our recent report on corporate welfare spending, or corporate handouts, as we like to call them in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned the handouts, $1.7 billion on corporate welfare programs. And the one thing that he does that bothers me, and again, I'm a taxpayer, so I comment on this because it affects me and my family who live in Pennsylvania. I don't live in Pennsylvania anymore, but most of my family does. And so, he didn't endorse anybody in the Philadelphia races the other day because he knew if he took a side, the other side would go after him. And then he's got other issues where he doesn't tell you what's going on. And he claims that, he's nothing he can do about gas prices when he could lower the gas taxes in Pennsylvania like tomorrow. And we have one of the highest gas taxes in the country. And he can do something about it right now. Is it the third highest, right?
I believe we're fourth right now. We're usually vying with Illinois for third and fourth. But, among the highest in the country.
And so could he not just, instead of taking selfies every 10 minutes and posting them, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you now. It's Memorial Day weekend. We don't know when the oil prices are going to go down, but I have something I could do. I could just, by the stroke of a pen, take the gas tax down 25 cents a gallon. I know that's not a lot, but that's at least him showing the people, the voters of Pennsylvania who keep voting for him and his ilk, that he knows your pain. But he keeps trying to blame the dark clouds on Trump. Now, Trump obviously is going to have to take the hit for the gas prices being high because he's the president. But isn't Josh Shapiro supposed to be able to do things to help the people in this state with the money that they pay in this state for the things that we're supposed to get in this state from our tax dollars?
Yeah, he could. He could absolutely say, we're going to take a gas tax holiday. We would say, let's look at it, a little deeper and actually find ways to lower our gas tax, because the secret is a lot of those revenues actually go to mass transit, like SEPTA. Mm-hmm. They're not even going to drivers. So drivers are paying for people who aren't driving. There are a lot of issues with how we do transportation funding in Pennsylvania. But again, that's something the governor can take a lead on. And for all the talk of affordability, the fact that he isn't doing that, he's actually proposing tax hikes in this current budget, really tells you what his priorities are. You have to look at what the governor does and not what he says.
Exactly, and that's all I want. I don't know him. I've never met him. I just think he's sleazy. And, and I know he wants to be president, and he got stiffed by his own party, not by me or not by the voters of Pennsylvania. But now that the election's over, he's on this tirade. He posts like every 10 minutes. I don't even look at my post every 10 minutes or every hour. But now he's like blaming everybody else but himself because now he knows he's going to be reelected. And he's basically kicking into high gear his run for president in 2028. Is there any doubt that's what his game plan is?
Well, and we don't know for sure. I mean, the speculation has been around for years at this point that is his ultimate political goal. And, look, Commonwealth Foundation, we're nonpartisan. We'll work with anyone who's willing to work with us on good policies that will help all Pennsylvanians flourish. Unfortunately, Governor Shapiro ran on some really good ideas, way back in 2022, and he hasn't executed on them. And some of those ideas were things like accelerating tax cuts. He hasn't done it. So again, we think it's important that the voters of Pennsylvania understand, what he's actually doing. And so, one of the other things we just put out was looking at education. The governor said he was open to giving kids scholarships who are stuck in failing schools. And then he vetoed that very program in his first budget.
And then even Kathy Hochul in New York, which is way more socialist than Josh Shapiro, is saying we're going to look at school choice. But Josh Shapiro doesn't want school choice, and he keeps referring to reproductive health when we know reproductive health in the real world is abortion. Obviously, lots of money comes from Planned Parenthood to Democratic. And again, I'm not pimp. There's no important Republicans in the state of Pennsylvania. That's why we're focused on Josh Shapiro. There's nobody with more power than him, is there?
Well, I mean, we do have, U.S. senators of two different parties that are trying to work together in some ways. I mean, I think, there's a lot of good that can be done in Pennsylvania, but we are in a challenging position right now with a divided government, with very close margins in the General Assembly in both chambers. So I think there's just an opportunity, to start, talking about the record of our leadership and saying, what have you actually done to drive down the cost for Pennsylvanians? What have you actually done to help kids who are stuck in failing schools? And if you can reframe the narrative that way, I think you'll begin to look at both, the opportunities we have and then also begin to hold folks accountable for what they've done over the past, in the governor's case, almost 4 years.
Elizabeth Stell, the Commonwealth Foundation. I love Foundation. You're not a senior fellow, though, because you're the vice president. Is that higher than a senior fellow?
Yeah, that just means I have to work a full week.
I'm a senior fellow because I'm 73 years old. And, now that, because women can be senior fellows as well at organizations. And that's to me, that's where we should be. Women and men can also be senior fellows because they don't have to be a man to be a fellow.
Yep.
I'm just trying to, it didn't work. So now you mentioned the 25 years of school choice, educational improvement, the tax credit, the EITC, 1 million scholarships in 25 years. And despite the despite the success, 70,000 people who applied did not get a scholarship in this school year. Can you explain that? Because I don't know how to explain it. You know much more about this, even though I was a journalism and political science major. What's going on right now in governments with our tax dollars and money that's supposed to be going for education and other things that we don't see go to those things. How does this happen? How are 70,000 applicants not getting a scholarship with all this money available?
Yeah, so the problem in Pennsylvania is that we have a lot of money that we budget for education, but it's not student directed. So a lot of money to fund buildings, a lot of money to fund jobs for adults, and then unsurprisingly, we don't get good returns because we're not prioritizing the kids, we're prioritizing the system. So for 25 years, Pennsylvania has had an alternative system called the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. Right. There's a couple of different components of it. But what that does is it allows businesses and individuals to send their tax dollars, their state, tax dollars, to schools of their choice instead of the black hole of Harrisburg. So you can actually invest in a school in your community that you care about, where you trust that kids are being well educated, so that anybody, no matter what zip code they live in, no matter how much money they make, can access high quality education. Because let's face it, every kid is different. Not every school works for every kid. And so this program really opens up high quality education to any child in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, the program is capped. We can only raise a certain amount of tax credits. And year after year, what we see is more scholarships are awarded because we've been able to raise the caps, but more scholarship applications are also denied. You know, the demand just keeps growing every single year because it works. I mean, parents want this. It really puts the power back in the hands of parents. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And we're calling on Josh Shapiro and lawmakers to continue to increase it so that we can get that waiting list down to zero.
So why does Josh Shapiro, in your opinion, and your knowledgeable opinion, not want school choice in Pennsylvania? I know the teachers' unions are powerful. I know there's a lot of money for him not to do it. But why do you think that even Kathy Hochul says, yeah, I'm for school choice now, but not Josh Shapiro?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the politics. It's, you know, where the money is coming from a lot of those races. And it's, you know, people may not realize this, but anyone who's done any work in Pennsylvania politics knows that, unfortunately, the government unions in Pennsylvania are by far the most politically powerful entity we have. Mm-hmm. They're more powerful than the oil and gas lobby. They're more powerful than, you know, the business lobby. Any boogeyman you can think of, the government unions actually are much more powerful. And so they're just standing in the gap saying, no, you can't do this. And then on top of that, we've had challenges with the administration of the program, refunds being delayed, letters with awards not going out. We can talk about whether that was on purpose or just, you know, bureaucratic oversight. I don't know. But there have been lots of attempts to pull back on this program. And thankfully, all of them have been unsuccessful. But the battle is real. I mean, Ohio now has universal choice, which means any kid can take a scholarship and go to the school they choose. Any kid. And here we are, you know, still fighting just to hold on to the program we have. Now, it's a huge program. Almost 5% of the kids in private schools are being educated through this program. It's wonderful. We have such a long way to go because in Pennsylvania, more than half of our kids can't do math at grade level. I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah,
and the way you solve that problem is competition.
No doubt about it. And Josh Shapiro won't do it. Same thing with, you know, with reproductive health care, because reproductive health is not an abortion. At least I'm not a doctor. But I've had 3 children. Well, my wife did, but we both made them. I know that abortion is not reproductive health care. Is that safe to say that that's true?
Yeah, well, we don't really take a position on that issue at Commonwealth Foundation. But I think it is interesting, you know, that the governor continues to focus on these hot topic issues rather than the issues that we think are actually affecting most Pennsylvania families in a very intimate way. And
exactly.
For us, that's why the number one issue is education and school choice.
And I harp on that, not because I'm anti-abortion. I mean, I have my oldest son and his wife, you know, had difficulty having children. And so when I see people just say, you know, abortion on demand no matter what, this is a personal thing. I'm not asking for you to agree or disagree. But so many couples have a hard time trying to reproduce and have children. And to have Josh Shapiro just make that, he's the one who posts about it every day. I don't post about it. I'm not fixated on it. But when you're the governor of Pennsylvania and all you can talk about the dark clouds out there because of Trump, and you've got a state to run, and you got to run for re-election again in a couple months, and he knows he's going to win because he's got like $13 million to Garrity's whatever, $5 million. So he knows that's in the bag. And that's all I want from any elected official. They're not they're working for us. We don't work for him. He works for us. And I just think that his approach on social media is an insult to the people here, where he keeps telling them he's going to send them $250, for credit because oil went up. And now nobody's seeing those checks. Nobody's seeing any relief from the promises that he keeps making but never fulfills. That's all. I want to hold any politician responsible for his comments, and he never gets held accountable because the media is soft on him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they continue to frame him as a moderate, but again, that's because they're looking at what he says and not what he's actually doing. I mean, another example, the governor has proposed a massive energy tax on Pennsylvanians, and nobody is talking about it. It would double your electricity bills over the next decade. And they just pretend like it doesn't exist, but that's what he's actually proposed. I mean, talk about affordability, talk about, pocketbook issues and what's, close to people of Pennsylvania. That's insane. Pennsylvania is an energy powerhouse, and the idea that we would tax ourselves and kneecap our economy it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I know the president today was talking about the $2 billion a year Joe Biden regulations on refrigerants and air conditioners, and, and the global warming, the climate thing. Trump's saying, that this is what's going on now. People need a break. The fact that they're saying, like in Pennsylvania, we don't have any energy. No, Pennsylvania, as you mentioned, we have among the most resources with liquid natural gas, oil, and everything else. But Josh Shapiro and his ilk don't want any kind of drilling or exploration of the natural resources we have right under our feet.
Mm-hmm. And that's jobs. That's,
Yep.
Funding for schools. That's all sorts of wonderful things. But again, we just continue to bring that up and to point people to what the promises were made, what he's been able to accomplish on those promises, and the issues that he's ignoring. In terms of, again, the budget, over almost $2 billion in corporate welfare handouts is what he's proposing, 3 new tax hikes. It just does not at all align with what's actually on the minds and the needs of your average Pennsylvanian, from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh and everywhere in between.
I apologize for my, there's no outburst. I'm just angry. I want the people that we elect to do things. Like my governor in Florida, he does things and people are happy. We don't have we don't have a state income tax. People get happy with that because they save money. But the Josh Shapiro, refusing to answer questions or do things that he says he's going to do and say that he did things that he didn't do, that should bug everybody, not just me, not just because I'm on the radio, everybody who pays taxes and wants somebody that tells you they're going to do something to actually do it. And I really appreciate you coming on today, Elizabeth. Thanks so much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Elizabeth Stell at the Commonwealth Foundation. And again, it's not partisan. It's not. Josh Shapiro happens to be a Democrat, and he's the governor of Pennsylvania, and he's probably going to win re-election easily. That's the bottom line. Are you happy when the governor keeps telling you everything that he did, that he was going to send you a $250 check? Remember that? That wasn't that long ago. Everybody's going to get a $250 check. Did you get a $250 check? I got a $51 traffic ticket. Is Josh Shapiro going to take credit and take that money and then give it to somebody else? That's all I want. You know what I mean? 855-839-1210. Elizabeth didn't like my sense of humor. She was very serious about the Commonwealth Foundation. I'm very serious about it, too. I'm serious about Josh Shapiro, and I don't like that guy. Not personally. I don't know him. I've never spoken with him. I've never interviewed him. I've interviewed pretty much every politician that you can think of, but never. Josh Shapiro won't call into this show. When I was doing sports talk radio, well, he wasn't the governor then, but I know he likes to call sports talk shows so he can say what a big Sixer fan or an Eagle fan or in Pittsburgh, a Steeler fan or a Pirates fan. I get it. That's what governors do. They make bets with other governors when there's sports teams, or in the World Series or in the playoffs. I get that. That's what politicians do. So 2 weeks on the table, and nobody at the station has answered why I don't have billions of dollars. It's a good question, ipso facto. I wondered the same thing. You know why? Because Elon Musk is going to be a trillionaire soon. We will discuss. Are you going to buy any shares of SpaceX?
I don't know if I can afford them.
I don't know. Will they open?
I think it's supposed to be the biggest IPO in history.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
believe the projection is about $1.5 trillion.
He will be the first trillionaire. And you want to talk about heads exploding.
I don't know what percentage of the company he owns. I think it's something around 40%, but he has an 86%, or he controls about 86%.
How do you know all this stuff, man?
I don't know. I don't know.
Emperor of the North says, we're still waiting for our Doge $2,000 checks, boomer. Oh, you don't have to talk to me.
Why do you have to call you a name?
Punk. You say that to my face, punk. Emperor of the North. We're still waiting for Doge 2000 checks, boomer.
I bet we get those Doge checks at some point.
I don't know.
Probably closer to election time.
I know people getting tax returns this year that didn't get tax returns last year. I don't. I'm not getting a tax return. Elizabeth is wondering who the crazy uncle who interviewed her is. I wasn't asking crazy questions, was I?
No,
Why do people think I'm going to come up with billions of dollars for the list? If I had $1 billion, I'd be rich. Well, that was the song. If I had $1 million, I'd be rich. Now, if you have $1 million, you're not rich. Because Bernie Sanders has millions, and he doesn't care because he's not a billionaire. See, when he was not a millionaire, he used to go after the millionaires. Now that he's got 3 houses, never signed a check in his life, just like AOC, and he goes after the billionaires. Imagine what he says when he becomes, when Elon Musk is a trillionaire. What will he say then? 855-839-1210. We'll get into a couple of other things. The one big story is the CNN report today. CNN somehow got its hands on the long private DNC report. Remember the Democrats said they were going to have an autopsy of what went wrong in the 2026 election? They refused to put it out. They said, we'll just move on. Ken Martin, right? He's the guy. We'll have tape on that now they're finally releasing it. And it's even worse than we could possibly have thought it might be. So we'll have that report. And we'll also do a special RIP shout out today to a guy we just had on our show a couple of weeks ago. Bob Woodson, a Philadelphia native, South Philly guy just like me, the founder of the Woodson Foundation, passed away a couple of days ago. We just had him on the air May 1st to talk about his great foundation and living through poverty and growing up black in Philly and all those other important things. And once again, rest in peace, Bob Woodson, founder of the Woodson Center and recent guest here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We're coming right back.
It's Tri-County Auto time with new May deals on Toyotas and Jeeps. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. The Memorial Day sales event is going on now at Tri-County Toyota. Take advantage of special savings across their lineup, like a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma with 2.99% APR financing. Ask about their veterans specials. They love veterans at Tri-County. It's their way of saying thank you to those who served our country. Now, if you're ready for your next Jeep, step into a new 2026 Jeep Wrangler with legendary capability. Now leasing for just $392 a month during the Declaration of Deals sales event. Tri-County Jeep has over 25 Jeep Grand Cherokees packed full of savings. Stop by during the Declaration of Deals event and see my great friends over at Tri-County. Look for the gigantic American flag and go on their website at tricounty.com to see all the great specials. King of Prussia, Limerick, Jersey, Philly, the main line, easy to get to from wherever you are. Tricounty.com.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and the world's #1 expandable hose has gone ballistic. The brand new Pocket Hose Ballistic is here, and it's the hose I reach for every time. This brand new anti-burst sleeve uses an extraordinary new liquid crystal polymer used in bulletproof vests, tough enough to handle anything your outdoor tasks throw its way. And that's not all. The Pocket Hose Ballistic comes with even more upgrades like thicker washers that resist leaks and an enhanced UV coating so your hose looks brand new year after year. What could be better than that? How about not 1, but 2 free gifts with your purchase? For a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text SUMMER to 64,000. That's SUMMER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. That's SUMMER to 64,000.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance.
So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. And you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Nintendo is hiking the price of its Switch 2 game console by $50 to $500 as the company looks to offset profit pressures. Nintendo says its hardware business is feeling pressure from a global electronics component shortage and higher shipping costs due to the Iran conflict. Even with weakening sales, the Switch was the top-selling gaming console in March, according to industry tracker Circana. I'm Jason Brooks.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
Yes, indeed. It's a Thirsty Thursday. Tony Bruno here. Fraud is breaking out everywhere. Trump talking about the Green New scam today. But I mentioned the story earlier at the beginning of the show about the woman Amy Bach, who was feeding our future. She was the founder in Minnesota, and she got 40-plus years in jail yesterday for her in the Minnesota $250 million COVID fraud that was tied to reportedly providing meals to people during the pandemic, and nobody got any food, but somebody got $250 million of tax dollars. She's going to jail for 40-plus years now. But then today, in the same place in Hennepin County, Liz Collins, one of the great reporters there, she was a local television reporter, and now she works for Alpha News. So the problem with the Minnesota media, it's like in Philadelphia media, where the newspapers are in the tank for the administration in charge. Like here in Philadelphia, the Inquirer will support every Democrat, even if he's a mass murderer, they will endorse him. And in Minnesota Star Tribune, the guy in charge is good buddies with the governor. So they're never going to write anything critical of Governor Tim Walz. So Liz is the one who's out there doing it. And today, the big story was Medicaid fraud. The FBI held a news conference in Minnesota, in Minneapolis today, and they announced 15 suspects have been nabbed for stealing $90 million in Medicaid money. Not just stealing the Medicaid money, but depriving the people of health care, period, to the point where one of them died. Now, do we have a clip from that news conference? It's one of the assistant attorney generals or assistant members of the FBI was there talking about this earlier today.
Cut number 8.
People. For example, one defendant is charged with defrauding the Integrated Community Supports Medicaid program. This program is designed to help individuals with disabilities live independently. One patient was supposed to be receiving 24-hour care through this program, but he was actually being serviced by a fraudster and received no services. This patient was later found dead. Meanwhile, the architect of this fraud scheme was billing Medicaid as if he was providing care to this patient. The defendant even submitted a claim of over $400 for services he never provided the day before this man died. In another example, 2 defendants have been charged for defrauding a program designed to offer medical services to those.
Oh, was he clipped off there?
Yeah, he's cut off there.
Okay. If that doesn't get you angry, imagine somebody dying because they thought they were going to get Medicaid money, and the shyster who steals the money doesn't care that the person died because all they care about is the money. And then again, you know who did this? Nick Shirley. Tim Walz didn't do this. His attorney general didn't do this. The guy who's a criminal, his attorney general, who endorsed the losing candidate in the Philadelphia District 3 race. But that's got to really tick you off. It does me. Listen, everybody who wants to, if you knew how to make money and get government money, would you take advantage? I don't need $90 million to steal. I don't need to steal any money. I just want what I'm owed. I want my tax returns. I want my roads fixed. I'm not going to try. But it used to be, okay, now I'm going to get a couple extra bucks here that I really didn't earn. You're not going to report yourself that you forgot to put $100 charity deduction in your income taxes, or you made a couple of extra bucks and you didn't report it. That's not the kind of fraud we're seeing here. We're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars, and in some cases, billions of dollars being taken by people who you would think have no clue how they could do it, right? Go try to get food stamps. Go try to get an EBT card. Even if you're poor, they're not just going to give it to you. You have to jump through hoops. When Miss Robin lost her job and she didn't have any income, she tried to apply for Medicare, for a SNAP, and they turned her down because she was making a pittance. She still had kids to feed. So that's the problem. It's not like people just want stuff for free. Who doesn't like free stuff? I finally got a T-shirt here from Kale & Company, and I've been working here for years. So when you get something for free, you're like, wow, I got a T-shirt. I appreciate stuff like that. A free cup of coffee. In the vending, we don't even have to pay for coffee here, and it's better than Starbucks. We do have to pay for parking, though, so that's one negative. I don't want to make it sound like everything's hunky-dory here. Parking, to me, is the number one cause of distress on this particular reporter. And the fact that I got a parking ticket because I was parked in a press pass area because I didn't have a press pass is even more outrageous. I should have just walked out in protest with a picket sign. But I didn't have any magic markers because, picketing is a big deal. I could have gone to City Hall yesterday and made a sign and gotten Surge Philly and their crowd to go out there and just march around City Hall demanding that the PPA stop picking on me. I'm being oppressed. I could make all these different signs. Should we have a walkout? I haven't done a protest since the 60s during Vietnam. I haven't done I'm a senior. I wouldn't even go out on a Saturday if they paid me $100 to go hold a picket sign somewhere. Would you?
I'd be more willing to walk out if the weather were nicer, but it's rainy today. It was hot all week.
No, I don't mean I was joking about that. Nobody would ever. Nobody. If you protest the PPA here, everybody would agree with you. But they're not going to get out of their cars because they'd get a ticket or get towed. See, if you pulled over to the side of the road to protest the PPA in front of City Hall where all these pro-Palestinian and no kings rallies happen every day, they don't give those people tickets or tow their cars away, do they?
Probably not. They let them be. I did see somebody got hit with a tow sticker on Chestnut
Yes,
Street.
I saw that today, too. I drove by there and I said, look at that. Wow. That's where I was parked yesterday. And if I had stuck around a little bit longer, they would have towed me away.
Last time they towed somebody in that area, it was right as Justin and I were leaving, and they blocked the entire street. We had to sit there for 25 minutes.
They had 2 tow trucks there.
It was
and
awful.
They blocked the entirety of Chestnut, and we couldn't get out.
Wow.
Like, legitimately, I think
It's
we were
an
stuck
outrage.
there 20,
What are we
25
living
minutes.
in here? Iran? They have better access to roads there.
I'd rather the guy just stay parked there. It wouldn't have inconvenienced me.
But that's the first time ever, because I've seen the boot on cars. I had a boot on my car once on my own street, and I didn't even have any tickets. I didn't have any They just come and slap a boot on you.
They went straight boot. Right, straight.
They went
to
straight
the boot.
boots to asses. As who was it that said that? Which wrestler said that? Was that? Anyway,
I think it's The Rock.
The Rock said boots. Now you're gonna have to bleep that, right?
No, you can say asses.
You can say boots to asses, right?
That's fine.
I'm like timid now. I don't know what to say anymore. I heard Anthony Camilla on this morning on Kale and Company, and he didn't even curse once because he's a veteran professional. He knows when he does his uncensored show on the internet, he can say anything he wants.
The guy from Opie and Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony Camilla was on.
The entire segment without cursing?
He did. I don't even think they had to beep him once.
I wouldn't.
That's a professional. That's a professional broadcaster right there. See, the things I say and get beeped for should not be beeped.
You only got beeped. Well, you got beeped several times, but it was for the same word. It was really only one word.
That's an outrage. That should never ever happen. You shouldn't have been beeped for that word back 25 years ago saying that on the air.
Well, you'll have to file a complaint with Brendan Carr.
I think Brendan Carr, who's got the bald head, I think he cut me some slack on that one.
Oh, that's a good idea. The bald community looks out for one another.
Well, you think people are reporting me to the FCC for saying that word that starts with T and ends with T and only has one letter in between?
Well, they can't report you because it didn't get over the air.
I bet if he could, our friend with multiple aliases from Ambler would.
Well, everybody reports me. They try to block me on social media. And by the way, you can follow me at Tony Bruno Show on X. And you know what I didn't do last night?
What's that?
I didn't check to see if, what's his name?
Oh, Jack.
Jack Pacific followed me. Pasobic, whatever his name is.
I don't know.
Can you check to see if he's following me?
I can try, but you have so many followers. It's really difficult.
No, but you can see. You can look at new. I'm not going to do it because, see, if I cared that much, I was joking with him. But if he isn't following me, I will block him. That's the only thing I can do. Block and report him the next time he retweets 8647. You know, he was one of the guys that did that, you know.
What?
He was one of the
James
guys who
Comey
got
tweet?
the Epstein files. Remember when all those dork influencers stood outside the White House when they all went in and Trump gave them the Epstein files?
Pam Bondi debacle, yeah.
No, that wasn't Pam Bondi. That was all. But the influencers, you know, everybody loves it. You've been to the White House, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a big deal going there. But all these strapper influencers, you know, and you saw how they made out the other night in the election. Like there were 16 of these so-called right-wing and left-wing protesters or influencers, the Tucker Carlsons and all the other ones. 16 of them all picked Thomas Massie to win in Kentucky, and they went 0 for 16. How can you be that wrong when your job is to be a pundit and to know? And I predicted the correct answers, and I don't even follow this stuff.
I think sometimes people just predict what they want to happen.
No, because they all agree with Massie, because Massie was a hero to them. Yet I saw this video this morning. I don't know if you saw this. There were all these videos of him when Trump ran and Ron DeSantis got into the race. Remember that? He was rooting for Ron DeSantis, and I love Ron DeSantis. He's the best governor ever. But he was rooting for Ron DeSantis. And remember, you look at the devolution of Tom Massie. Have you seen how he's changed? He used to be this frumpy guy with messed up hair, And then he kept getting thinner, and then his wife died. Then he was with 2 chicks and Lauren Boebert and all this other stuff. And again, that's his business. But all of a sudden, he became an icon. And you know how he was a bad guy? Because the Democrats are now all mad that Thomas Massie lost. Because the Thomas Massie, how dare he be against Trump? That's what the Democrats are saying. Meanwhile, the same people are mad that the guy here in Pennsylvania who votes 99% of the time with the Democrats didn't vote with the Democrats a couple of times. John Fetterman. They want to get rid of John Fetterman because he had the audacity not to walk in lockstep 100% of the time with everything the Democrats propose, right? Am I making sense here? But then Thomas Massie, who obviously was trying, he hated Trump, and Trump takes notes of that stuff. And again, I don't care about Thomas Massie or any of these people. I don't live in those states. But there's a reason why Trump did it. And guess what? It worked. Because all the people that he has endorsed, he was 37-0. So again, does that mean anything? No, but it means that all these influencers says that Trump doesn't have any juice anymore when it comes to the party. He does. Because if you cross, and I'm not saying any people should not be able to do, I disagree with Trump a lot. But I'm not running for political office. And every one of these people who voted against Trump on important bills, I don't mean just trivial stuff. I mean like the SAVE Act and things like that, things that matter, that are not 50-50 issues. So to me, Massie now is going to become a glory boy for the Democrats. You see them, they were all complaining. How can Trump do this to one of his loyal Republican supporters? He wasn't a loyal Republican supporter. And again, I don't care that he voted. He voted against Trump a lot. And then he defied Trump. And now they're saying he's going to run for president. President of what? The Epstein File Association? If he had the Epstein files, don't you think now he would go out there and then release them? You following what I'm saying here? If he had access to all of the names, and he and Ro Khanna brought out remember when they brought out the wrong names and they implicated like 4 people who weren't really on the Epstein list? And they went out and had a news conference, Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie. They're both weasels. I get Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna's been a weasel since he grew up here in Philly, in Bucks County. And now Ro Khanna's crying that Thomas Massie, who's supposed to be either an independent or a conservative, was kicked out. Because poor Ro Khanna now, he has nobody to pal up, no fellow Democrat to pal up with or Republican to pal up with because he's a lawyer. He's a loser, and he's a crumb creep coward. In your face, Ro Khanna. 855-839-1210. Open lines. Don't forget to like the show, please. Please, folks. I don't ask for much. I'm not asking you to pay my parking tickets. I'm not asking you to drive me around looking for a parking spot. I don't ask for much.
You should start a GoFundMe to pay your parking.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's only $51. If I don't have $51 to pay a park, you know what I should do? I should contest that, and I think I can win.
Oh,
and I have a way that I could beat this ticket, because when I was looking at it and looking at the reasons, I think I have a winner. Because when you go to traffic court, you have to take a day off from work, and then people don't. That's what the PPA thinks. You're going to go to court over a $35 ticket. You're not going to waste your time and then have to go down to sit to the city and go in, and you're going to lose, right? So you're going to take a day off because if you don't make $35 a day, then there's something wrong with you. But if you have to take off work to go fight it, I don't have to. I'm going to contest this, and I'm going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court because I think I've got probable cause. I don't even need a lawyer. I don't even need the guy who's not a lawyer but can get you out of your timeshare. What's that guy's name?
Oh, the guy from the commercial.
Chuck McDowell.
Chuck McDowell. He's not an attorney. I don't even need Chuck McDowell to get me out of this. I'm going to tell you, coming up next, I will tell you exactly how I will beat my first ever PPA parking ticket. And I'm telling you, I'm going to win. And when I win, there's going to be a parade down Market Street. Because we didn't get one with the Flyers or the 76ers, probably not with the Union. And I don't know about the Phillies. It's still too early to call. But if I beat this ticket, I will have a one-man parade. And then I'll have cars in front of me and behind me and a marching band. And everybody will be with me. They'll be calling me a hero. They'll be throwing me beers like they did when the Eagles parade went down Broad Street. Jason Kelsey will be throwing me garage beers up to my platform. I'm going to be on a truck. I'm going to be on top of like one of those tourist trucks. The tourist buses, the double-deckers with no top. As long as it doesn't rain. I don't want to get wet.
I'll start climbing poles.
Yeah, well, we won't.
We'll have to grease them.
Yeah, we'll have to grease the poles. We'll plan that. That's for later on this year. But right now, we're going to take a break. Open lines. Don't forget, like the show. If you're watching on YouTube, just hit that like button. That like button will mean that maybe they will bring me back one more time. Hit me, baby, one more time. It's Tony Bruno. It's the afternoon show. It's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
It was just one unforgettable night. One of those things. An evening with Harry Connick Jr. Just one of those crazy flings. Performing songs from across his remarkable career. Well, come by me. Harry Connick Jr. Come talk to me, baby. Friday, July 24th. Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Tickets are on sale now at theborgata.com. You got to go see the Mardi Gras.
As Philly celebrates 250 years, it's a reminder that the businesses that last are the ones you can truly trust. That's why so many families rely on United Tire and Service. When it comes to your car, you deserve honesty, clear explanations, and no pressure. Just experienced mechanics who tell you what you need, what can wait, and get the job done right. With more of us keeping our cars longer than ever, having a team you trust really matters. Visit UnitedTire.com or your locally owned United Tire. Don't drive alone. Drive United. carrot.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In Philadelphia, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with more than 80 local Chase branches and 5,000 nationwide, we are right beside you, Philadelphia. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing. I want a reward for dominating. Like Daily Prize Matcher on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
Now we're moving into summer, and it's time we find out how brutal the winter weather was to our home. Hey, it's Rich Izzioli. If you're looking for a contractor that can help you with repairs during this time, or maybe you want to get a jump on those renovations, go with my guys, Emmons. They deliver protection, peace of mind, and true craftsmanship. That's why Emmons has always been my go-to contractor for over 10 years in 2 different homes. And they even just remodeled our kids' bathroom. Plus, you're going to get American-made products, American-made roofing products to lifetime warranted Owens Corning roofs built to handle severe weather, siding that elevates and insulates your home, and made in America, windows and doors that blend style and performance, made in America. Emmons has you covered every step of the way. So go to emmonsroofing.com, upgrade your home with confidence, make sure you tell them I sent you, and always go with the company that I go with because I trust them and they've delivered for me each and every time in 2 different homes. That's Emmons Roofing, emmonsroofing.com.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of nonstop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Oh, you don't even have to drive on the Drive at 5. And you don't even have to park. Unless you're going around and around and around in Center City and you're looking for a stupid parking spot. Just enjoy the ride. It's Tony Bruno. Yeah. Crank this baby up.
Hot takes and laughs, you'll never miss a beat. When Bruno's on the mic, you know he brings a heat. So tune the dial to the best in the nation. Matt and Justin hold it down, producing at the station.
Yeah.
WPHT bringing the finest in all radio. Yeah, Tony on the mic for the 3 to 7 show.
Boom. And just like that, it's the 5 o'clock hour, The Drive at 5. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Tony Bruno. Did the rain stop? It's supposed to be spotty, right?
It's still coming down.
It's still coming down. It's hard to tell.
I think it's supposed to stop when the show ends, which will be nice since we won't get soaked walking to our cars.
I have an umbrella today, though. Yesterday, I had to use the Nick Cale T-shirt to walk all the way to 30th Street. That got soaked. So did I. When you have a T-shirt on your head and it's pouring and you're walking like 3 blocks, is it really going to matter? I just didn't want to get my head wet because I didn't have a hat on. People have been asking about the white hat that the great Matt DeSantis is wearing today. Now, where is that from?
This is a waste management hat, actually. That waste management.
They sell white hats out there in Arizona?
Yeah, that's the only
at that golf tournament. It's the best golf tournament in the world.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm not a big golf fan, and I kind of went reluctantly, but I had
Reluctantly,
so much fun.
You don't go there for the golf. What's the matter with you?
It was a freak show. The second I walked in, I saw two gentlemen dressed as medieval knights jousting.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think every golf tournament should be that way.
There's a lot of heavy drinking going on there.
Absolutely.
And every time the golfers, stepped up to take a swing, they would have people parade around with signs saying, "Please be quiet."
Oh, they do that at every
the crowd
tournament.
Would go
nuts.
nuts.
They do. They have the quiet things everywhere. but that tournament is the way golf should be played, and the players love it. There's a couple of guys that get mad, but that's because remember that's one of the first tournaments of the year because they play in Hawaii to start it, and then they move. But that's always around the Super Bowl week. And I remember one year they moved it right before the Super Bowl on the Saturday.
Yeah,
I mean it's a week. It was a couple years. It was a couple of days. It's a 4-day tournament, of course.
Yeah, this year's it was that same weekend.
Yeah, it was great. And it's always that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Super Bowl is in Arizona at the same time, it's even more lit, as they say.
I can't imagine how crazy that is.
It's great. I love that. And I played that course. I actually birdied that hole where the stands are. That's the last time I birdied any hole, but that was a long time ago. But it was a lot of fun. And Arizona's awesome, except it's too hot there, just like Florida. Meanwhile, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So the big stories today, of course, are the fraud in Minnesota. And I was thinking that, remember when they raided Donald Trump's house and his garage at Mar-a-Lago? And I don't even think was he the president then, or was he when he was out of office, and they were afraid that he was going to run again, right, after Joe Biden won? So why don't they raid Tim Walz's house or Ilhan Omar's house? They've got all these fraud charges. People who work with them and for them are all involved in the fraud. But you see what Ilhan does when she walks through the halls of Congress and the media tries to ask her questions? She doesn't answer. She doesn't say anything. And again, if they're guilty, they should be charged. They should be arrested. If I stole $250 million from the government, you think I'd be walking around and being proud of what I did? No, I'd be in jail like the other chick is, that Amy Bach chick who ran that Feeding Our Futures Foundation, where they stole $250 million from people who were supposed to be getting food during the pandemic. That money was supposed to go to poor people and people who needed food. How does Tim Walz get away with it? Because he says he's not running for re-election again, and he gets a free pass until he's out of office at the beginning of next year? How has he not been indicted? How has he not been arrested? If it wasn't for Nick Shirley, this stuff would still be covered up, because it was Nick Shirley who was walking into these Leering centers and all these buildings that were supposed to be daycares and day schools, finding out that they really weren't. There were no kids there. There were no students there. That's the problem. Joseph Ricciani checking in, and he's a good friend, so he can rip me. I remember when Tony graduated from grammar school, his diploma was on slate and chisels. No, you can't use slate and a chisel. You have to have a nice big rock, solid as a rock. Hey, Sue, are you able to drive? We need support people on 726. He's worried about the bike race today. People can't even walk outside in the rain, Road Warrior. Relax, man. Anyway, so that's that. And the other story that CNN broke, because I think the Democrats owed it, the DNC, I should say, which is the Democrats. Remember when Kamala Harris lost in the election? And then Ken Martin, who's the guy in charge of the DNC, said, we're going to have an autopsy to find out what really, really went wrong. And then time went by, Kamala wrote her book, and she's out there pimping it everywhere, and people are acting as if nothing happened. She's still laughing and joking, even though, let's be honest, she blew $2 billion trying to win the election after Joe Biden had to step aside, and they didn't have a primary, and she was anointed the candidate for president. And what happened? Nothing happened. She's still out there, and she's running for president again. But here's the thing. All of a sudden now, because CNN got some information from the DNC on the DL. Say that fast five, on the down low. So a CNN reporter all of a sudden today emerges and says, hey, you know what? I got information. They don't really want to release it, but they knew they had to eventually because they got to get this out of the way before the midterms. Do we have the CNN cut? Did we get that? That was actually in the middle of the day when that happened. And the guy was on in the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer earlier today. I should have told you that.
I'll try to find it real quick.
Yeah, it's incredible because he basically admits that the DNC gave him he had to get the information. But guess what? Some of it was redacted. And some of it didn't even make sense. There were spelling errors. There were spelling errors in the DNC. Did Joe Biden use the auto pen for the DNC autopsy of his own administration going down the toilet? So CNN's reporting it. And, if they're reporting it and they release it and it's error-riddled on why, they can't even get the reasons why Kamala lost right. And listen, my spelling sucks, but they released the autopsy to CNN, and it's got all kinds of errors in it. How does that happen? We're going to get that cut and play it for you. The other things going on is the Cuba situation, keeping an eye on that. Trump's talking about, Marco Rubio is the one, really, because obviously he has a lot more to do as the Secretary of State with Cuba. And he was talking about earlier today, and he was asked about Raul Castro openly admitting and bragging about giving orders to shoot down civilian airplanes flying in the airspace of Cuba. And he said, I'm not going to ask, do we have that cut? Let's play. This is Marco Rubio about Raul Castro and whether or not we, the people, the United States military, will go in there to get him since he was indicted and they went in and got Maduro. Will they get him and bring him back to the United States to make him face charges? Let's go to the tape to Marco, little Marco.
How do you intend to get Raul Castro to the United States?
Well, that was a grand jury in South Florida returned an indictment on Raul Castro. It had nothing to do with us. The grand jury, the evidence is clear. He admits to it. Raul Castro openly admits and brags about he shot down gave the order to shoot down civilian airplanes.
And how would you get him here?
Well, I'm not going to talk about how we're going to get him here. If we were trying to get him here, why would I say to the media what our plans are about that? I know you have to ask, but why would I answer that? The bottom line, there's a lot. At that point, he becomes a fugitive of American justice. And, well, if there's an announcement, we'll tell you afterwards, not before.
See, I mean, that's why everybody loves little. They don't call him Little Marco anymore, do they?
No, I haven't heard anyone say that in a while.
Who's the guy Lil something down there at Tony's cheesesteak joint?
Oh, Little
Joey
Snuff.
Little what's his name?
Little Snuff.
Little Snuff.
I think that's his name, yeah.
I had a little snuff once, but I don't like that stuff. You put a pinch in between your cheek and gum, makes your mouth nasty, your teeth rot out, you fall out, then you got to go to California, and Karen Bass has got to get you new teeth. Anyway, by the way, Road Warrior's mad at me, and I'm not doing anything to go against Road Warrior. He's a friend of the show. He's an important part of the organization. Because he was trying to fundraise, obviously, for the bike race. And I've been promoting the bike race, Nick Cale and company. So I'm not trying to slow your roll, Road Warrior. I love you, man. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, we have the CNN.
Yeah, this is CNN today. So CNN, it was Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Why do they still call it the Situation Room? Let's go to this. This is a blockbuster story today. And then, now all of a sudden, they want to tell everybody what happened with Kamala Harris. I think this is their way of saying, Kamala, we don't want you running in 2028. Sister, sit down and watch us mess up this whole autopsy. Let's go to the tape.
Breaking news, new exclusive reporting first into the Situation Room. CNN has obtained the Democrats' long-awaited autopsy of the 2024 election, documenting what went wrong in Kamala Harris's loss to President Trump. After publicly promising its release, DNC Chair Ken Martin pulled the plug on the elusive report last year, sparking fierce criticism within the party.
CNN senior reporter Isaac Dover got his exclusive hands, on all of this. He's joining us now in the Situation Room. Isaac, this report. You were a big part in why it came out in the first place. Excellent reporting on
Thank
your
you.
part. After back and forth from the DNC chair, Ken Martin, on whether or not he'd release it in full. So what's inside it?
Well, so first of all, that is an important part of this. The plan was not to release this report. The report was released to me after I had obtained a lot of the detail and contents of what was in there. And the report that we have published on our website is with annotations from the DNC lawyers undercutting a lot of what is in the report. That said, it gets into things about spending decisions and organizing that was done by the DNC, ways to possibly improve it. But there are a lot of things in that version that are incomplete. And also, it does not touch a couple of topics that a lot of people were very interested in and thought were the reasons for this report not being out. There's nothing about Joe Biden and what happened in the debate. There's nothing about Kamala Harris getting the nomination without any kind of primary process. And also, there is nothing about the way that voters were responding to Gaza and how the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris policies and comments about it were hitting their minds.
So a lot was missing in that report. I know you reached out to the current DNC chair, Ken Martin, who we noted earlier has come under some fire for initially not releasing this report to the public. What's he now saying?
Well, he apologized in a statement to me for how he handled it. And he said that he was releasing it to me because he feels like this is about getting back to some level of transparency. But he says in the statement that the report was not ready for prime time. That's how he put it. And that's why he chose not to do it, that it's full of a lot of problems. And again, we are publishing the full report so that people can see it and read for themselves and make their decisions about what's in there.
Because in the full report, there's spelling issues, there's errors and just basic facts.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they have a more polished, put-together report at this point in the game?
Well, look, and this was after a year of work on it, and the story that I have up that goes along with the publishing of the report goes through the whole process of how this went down. Martin hired a friend of his as a part-time volunteer to be the person in charge of this report, and that person I get into a lot of the conversations that person was having. His name is Paul Rivera, that he was having with people and how those conversations went, but also a lot of conversations that he wasn't having. For example, he did not speak to almost anybody who was in a leadership position on the Biden campaign or the Harris campaign. He didn't speak to Joe Biden. He didn't speak to Kamala Harris. He didn't speak to Tim Walz.
Wow.
He did not speak to, when it comes to the Gaza issue, any of the leaders of the uncommitted movement, which was that protest movement, pro-Palestinian protest movement. He didn't speak to Jewish groups or pro-Israel groups. So it wasn't just leaving out one part of that conversation. He left out all parts of that conversation. And that has led to a lot of conspiracy theories about what was going on here. But I think when you see the full story of what's there and what this process was and read the document, you will have a lot of, if not all of, hopefully your questions answered.
And you've released
yes, cut it off. Cut it off. I've had enough. That's a bunch of garbage. So this guy's claim, he's got his exclusive hands on it. And then the reporter says, well, they released it to me, but they had to redact a lot of stuff. And then there were spelling mistakes. And no, there wasn't anything about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden blowing up in the debate, which caused them to put Kamala Harris in there. Those are the important stories. She lost. She cost them $2 billion. And they didn't put the most. It took them, how long ago was the election? November of what? 2026. It is now at the end of May of 2026. That was in 2025, right? Hasn't Trump been in office over a year?
2024.
2024, that's right. It was in November of 2024. Trump goes in January, but the election was in November. So November passed. And now we're already almost half. So it's like a year and a half after.
It's almost exactly 18 months.
Almost 18 months after the election when they said, we're going to have to sit down and do an autopsy. King Tut didn't have to wait that long for them to find out what he died from. Who does an autopsy, then botches it, and then doesn't include the most important parts of why you lost the election, not mentioning that Joe Biden spit the bit during the debate when they had to basically give him the hook off the stage like they do in vaudeville. It's unbelievable, the story. And then CNN is all excited because obviously CNN is state-run media for the Democratic Party. So I get it. Ken Martin gave them a little taste to make face, to save face. because the Democrats all have all these other problems going on, like the Republicans do, on getting their acts together. So all of a sudden, they're releasing the autopsy on why Kamala Harris lost? You don't even have to know anything about politics or elections to know why Kamala Harris lost. That's right. Carl says autopsy. When the sitting president was elected, he was in the beginning stages of rigor mortis.
Where the hell are we?
I don't know where we are. How long will it take for Joe Biden when he dies, God rest his soul, for that autopsy? Or will they not even have an autopsy? No, they don't do it. If the president dies of natural causes. Would it be natural causes? Marcus Aurelius says, by calling this an autopsy, are they admitting that Kamala's candidacy was dead on arrival? DOA in your Chevrolet. Wow. That's they were better off not saying it, not releasing this to CNN, right? Listen to that again. I'm not playing it again. Listen to that and tell me how that makes CNN look great. They're admitting that they leaked it to this guy, and then they told this guy that there were mistakes that they redacted, and then they also didn't mention Joe Biden, and they didn't mention Kamala Harris. What else do we care about in the election? Those are the only things that matter. Joe Biden
don't know what the they're doing.
Exactly.
Do you understand that?
Yes, damn right I do, Mr. President. CNN breaking news. I'll give him credit, though. CNN got the story. And for the first time in history, people are now giving CNN credit for a story that they had given to them 18 months after the election. The longest Frankenstein, the body parts that Dr. Frankenstein had to get to make his monster took less than 18 months after they had to dig up all the graves and put the body parts together, stitch them up, put the bolts in the head, and then get the electricity coming through the roof into his laboratory on the Castle East. Frankenstein was created. That's an autopsy. Now it's time to hit the damn like button. It's not a like button. It's a thumbs up button. And I keep saying the like. You know, it's not like. It's a thumbs up. So if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. Let's go to Jack. Sell it for less in West Deptford, New Jersey. Jack, what's going on?
Tony, I used to listen to you when you had the sports talk shows way back. You were pretty good then.
Well, thank you, man. I don't do sports anymore. Yeah. I'm bored.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyway,
I love doing all kinds of talk radio.
Yeah. I want to talk about two things here, things that really bother me, the illegals and about the kings and dictators. It's so stupid, these protests. I want to say every president has an agenda. They went in and they will do anything to get that agenda put in. Like Obama had his green energy. I mean, Biden has green energy. Obama had Obamacare. Clinton, Reagan, Bush, all of them. They're the most powerful. When you become president, you're the most powerful man in the world. You have the most powerful military, powerful economy, and you'll do whatever you can to get that across. And it's just this agenda. They're all kings and dictators. If Trump is a king, it's so stupid, these things.
It is. It's insane. And then when the real king comes from England, they stand up and give him a standing ovation. Even Nancy Pelosi gave the King of England a standing ovation when they hate kings.
Yeah. It's all insane. And then the other thing was about illegal immigration. That's another thing so stupid. And this voter ID. Guess who? They're going to put this on TV on commercial. Chuck Schumer has a big thing about. He said yes, you must have voter ID to vote.
Of course. They were all saying, they were all saying, yeah, you're absolutely right, Jack. They were all saying, we've got to stop Iran. I'm sorry, Jack. Every president said for 50 years, we got to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Trump does it. Oh, he's crazy. And you mentioned Chuck Schumer on tape, Joe Biden on tape saying that we have to have the secure border. We can't allow it. Bill Clinton said we have to have a secure border.
Hillary Clinton said we got to get rid of the criminals, of the illegals coming over. Also, Obama said it. Clinton said it. They all said it. We got to do something about it. It's all you put that on a commercial. They all were against it. Now they're all totally against Trump doing this.
Exactly. That's the thing that bothers me. You know. Oh, and I'm not. The whole thing about that's whataboutism. No, you know what whataboutism is? History. When something is done in the past, and then somebody does the same thing in the future, you're talking about history. Because if Joe Biden did something bad, that doesn't mean I can't refer to it, like when gas prices went up, when the war in Ukraine started. Because the war in Ukraine, we didn't have to send troops. We sent them missiles because, Russia was attacking a sovereign country. But they have a president there who has stopped elections. Zelensky's no saint. And we had all these celebrities going over there and giving them checks with all of our money to fight the war in Ukraine. And I'm pro-Ukraine. I'm not supporting Russia. But, they all went there and gave them money. Celebrities were showing up. Congress people were showing up. They're flying into Kiev, a war zone, but they're there hanging out with Zelensky, in his. So that's the problem. You can't say Joe Biden emptied the reserve. He emptied the gas reserves in Alaska because the gas prices went up when that Ukraine war broke out. That's what he did. And he emptied them out, and it cost a lot of money when gas went up to fill it back up again. And so these politicians all lie. Jack, it's a good call. I appreciate it. Thanks for checking in, buddy. But that's the thing. If you follow, and I'm not a guy who lives, breathes, eats, and dies politics, but I keep up on things. I know who my Congress people are. I know who the president. You see these interviews on the street. There are people who couldn't even name the vice president. If you walked up, you go to the beach in Wildwood this weekend, and you see a couple of those Italian dudes, the guys with the greasy hair and the tank tops and then the board shorts. Are they wearing those now? And I don't want to I don't want to single out just the Goombas. I'm talking about any guy or gal, the teenagers, the young teens. You know what I mean? Most of them are, what would you say? How would you identify them? If you go to Wildwood. It's not just the normal suspects you're talking about. The ones where they're not playing. Why is it not playing? Why is it not playing?
Oh, we have no sound effects?
I hit it.
Oh, that's weird.
It just blew the whole bit, man. Now I've lost my mojo. I was going to say male, possibly white. That's not the case anymore. All these kids throwing hands and going crazy, they're of all ages. The young teenagers back in the day. Jerry Blabber used to call them you young teens. But do you think there will be an autopsy to tell us why Trump turned into Jimmy Carter in the Iran war? Now, that's Emperor of the North. He's one of those Ambler guys. I figured out now on the chat, on the YouTube chat. Because the Emperor of the North is one of those clowns who calls in and now makes up names and he basically says he's one of the Ambler guys. The Ambler guys think they're going to get a lot of play on this show. They're not. Because they're crumb, creep, lush cowards and mustard. 855-839-1210. Let's go to Frank in South. Is that the Frank in South Philadelphia, Frank?
The one and only.
The one and only Frank. Did you punch him up or did I?
Take him back.
Yeah, Frank, by the way, I want to thank you again. Everybody loved the product that you brought yesterday, and I'm sorry I wasn't here for it, but you are one great man down there in Packard Park.
Thank you for taking my call, Tom. But listen, I got some good news and some bad news for you.
Well, give me the bad news first. I don't want to get the bad news last.
Bad news. When you go to traffic court up at 9th and Filbert, take your checkbook. There's very, very few people that dismiss on a ticket up there.
I know that. I've done it multiple times, and then I stopped going, and I would just pay the fine. Because you're never going to win back. It's not even like a court anymore. You go in and sit at a desk with somebody, and they already know. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Here, and then they charge you. I'm telling you right now, Frank. You mark my words. And when this happens, I will beat this ticket because I have overwhelming support. I'll get the best lawyers available, and they will look at this thing and they will say open and shut. I'm going to get the guy in California who's Adam Carolla's agent, Mark Garagos. I'm going to hire Mark Garagos to represent me, and I'm telling you right now, this will not even go to traffic court. This will be an open and shut case. Guaranteed.
Well, like the actor said in that movie, I forget the name of the movie or the actor, he said, good luck to the Albanian guy. But I wish you luck with it. Hey, Tone.
Yes.
Now I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me up here at nice in Filbert there. I went there for arbitration to turn around and settle for a ticket. I thought I could beat it just like you. So we got there. Me and this friend of mine. This friend of mine. He was in the car. Says, "You wait in the car, and then we'll go." So we got there about 8:30, 8:45, and we're still closed. It was 9:00. So I said, "Let's go around the corner and get a cup of coffee." I go into the coffee shop. Me and him come out. I get a ticket. There's a ticket on my windshield. Okay, so now I drive around. It's 9:00. I drive around and I said, we're sipping on the coffee. I park in front of there. I let my friend stay in the car, and I go in there to try to settle the ticket. Well, you try to beat it. You don't try to, not pay it. I go in there. It's not dismissed. I had to pay that.
Right.
The one I was trying to settle. And then I came out. Here's a guy. Here's a PPA guy writing another ticket on the car. Now the guy, my friend of mine, is in the car, but he's listening to music. You know, he's a Spanish guy. He's listening to music, stuff like that.
Of course. Who doesn't?
And I said to the PPA guy, I said, well, wait a minute. My friend's sitting in the car. You writing up a ticket? Here, I read the ticket. He says, hey, it's too late. Here, the same guy that gave me the ticket around the corner is the same guy that was writing the ticket up. That wrote the ticket
that's
up.
an outrage now. That's an outrage. That's rubbing it in your face, man. I mean, listen, I've gotten tickets I've deserved, and then I pay them. But this ticket right now, I'm telling you, I will guarantee that I will beat this ticket. I'm telling you, the evidence is all in my favor. I called a couple of lawyers last night before I went to bed, and I gave the evidence. I laid out my case. Case is closed. I guarantee it. I don't even have to go. Frank, I don't even have to go to 9th and Filbert. I don't even have to go to the bus terminal next door to buy a Greyhound. Is that keeps changing now, that bus terminal, right? Isn't that right near there? The bus, there used to be the Greyhound. No, it used to be the Trailways bus terminal. Then it was Greyhound. Then it went away, and they kept moving it around. Why did they keep moving around the bus terminal?
It's on the northwest corner, the bus terminal.
I know.
But the good part that I'm going to turn around and tell you is that the law reads that you could bring super sock up or gold down Florida when you go down there, or a bottle of wine. Interstate, you could turn around and travel with the meat, any kind of meat or anything like that.
Exactly.
But if you could try to bring it in the United States, which I tried to do. No, I didn't try to bring it in the United States. It just so happened in 1984 when I went to Italy, my cousins gave me a superside, a couple sandwiches. So now in New York, they stop me. They go through the bag. They see me. He says, "What's this?" I says, "It's homemade superside. My cousin gave me. Well, you can't bring it in the United States." So I said, "Wait a minute, hold on a second. You mean tell me I can't bring it back to my house?" I says, "Just wait 1 minute." And I just got married. Like I said, I went there for my honeymoon. So I told my wife, I said, there was a bench right near there. So I grabbed it. I took the skin off, ate it. I said, now could I go through the city? I ate it with the whole piece. Me and my wife ate the whole piece. I said, now I could bring it in through the customs because I got stopped over there.
The gabagool always wins, man. When you put out a quality gabagool, everybody loves it because we have the meats.
I can vacuum pack. When you go down back Florida, I can vacuum pack it, the superside and a gabagool and a bottle of whistle. When you take it down there, which you enjoy it. You got to keep it on the refrigeration once I
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, could I mention about this $90 million fraud that they got going in Minneapolis?
Yes, 15 people have been charged. $90 million of Medicaid fraud, and even RFK Jr. is going bananas today over this.
Now, the IRS could audit anybody. And then the government, they could order them down there. Well, I got ordered back in year 2000. The guy that came to my house from the IRS came to my house, went through the computer, went through my taxes, $9,600. Now they came to my house. Why can't they go to the politicians?
They should. I want them rated. Hey, Frank, it was so great talking to you, man, and I appreciate all you do for listening to the show and being just a great guy from South Philly who makes his own gabagool, supersada, and wine. That's
not only that, Tone.
What else?
Not only that, in my section over here, we're the only ones that have legal parking spaces.
Damn right,
You
man.
can't get tickets.
You're damn right, man.
When Pat Shunk Avenue there from 7:30 to 10:30 at night giving out tickets.
I know. Listen, I know. I live on East Passyunk Avenue. Nobody gets more tickets in that neighborhood. They got easy. People come from all over the city. They park there, and they're done. Nobody's leaving without a ticket when you come to South Philly.
Park in my section. Park where I live at. That's the reason why I bought my property on 18th and Bigler here.
Beautiful.
All the parking you want. I'll drive you to work every day over there.
No, you don't have to do that, Frank. You don't. You don't have to drive me to work because when I'm in the car and I try to find a parking spot, my sister's been driving me in a couple of days, and then like a stunad, I drove in myself, and now I'm schwitzing over parking tickets and looking out the window. Nobody looks out the window. When was the last time you had to look out the window to make sure your car wasn't being towed or booted? That's not a democracy. That's absolutely. This is what fascism is. When your car gets booted and you're right inside the house doing nothing but watching Action News with Jim Gardner.
Frank, if you want to drive me to work, I'll take the offer.
Yeah. Now, can you drive Matt DeSantis? He's an Italian guy too. It does not. You don't have to be Italian. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be Italian. As long as you're a friend of Tony, I'll take you up at Center City.
Thank you, Frank.
Beautiful.
But listen, a tow job is $150 for the tow and $301 if it's an abandoned car. Try and fight that ticket.
No, you can't do that. You can't fight City Hall. But mark my word. Mark the tape. On this May 21st, Thursday, I will beat this ticket, and I will do it legally. I'm not going to threaten. I'm not going to get somebody on the inside to fix it. I'm not going to call my buddies in the mob because they're all dead. I will do this the right way, the legal way, and I will beat the system. I will beat the PPA. Yeah, the Action News van. Does the Action News van get a ticket?
You got a bottle line if you beat that ticket, Tone. Homemade.
All right, brother. Thank you, Frank. There he is. God bless Frank. How awesome is he?
I got nervous for a second. He said tow job, and I thought.
See?
Yeah.
You can't. You're
that's just your mind.
You're producing scared. You can't produce scared. Okay.
I was producing very scared there. I thought I misheard what he said. He said tow job, to be clear. He didn't get dumped though.
Sue Alberici, the tuna fan. Tuna, I know a guy, he's known as Frank from 10th and Shunk. No, that's Monk the Skunk from 5th and Shunk. That's the guy everybody knew. Come on, Rosalie and Dottie and all the other women on there. Not talking about Frankie, not Frank Rizzo. The Jerky Boys had a character named Frank Rizzo. Remember Jerky Boys? Now tell me you don't remember the Jerky Boys.
I don't know the Jerky Boys.
Oh, man.
What do they sing?
They weren't singers. They were guys who used to spoof people by making prank phone calls.
The Jerky Boys?
The Jerky Boys. They were legendary, man.
Oh, yeah. Comedy act from Queens, New York.
Yeah, and they would crank call people. And then everybody started doing it. And then you got these guys now, those guys that, what do they call it? Impractical jokers.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Well,
Frank Rizzo.
Now, if you look up the Jerky Boys, the first thing that pops up
The Egyptian magician?
No, it's premium hand-cut beef jerky.
No, my favorites were the Egyptian magician and Frank Rizzo. Those guys were funny. The Egyptian magician. Can we play a little Jerky Boys? Let's go to before we do that. Now, we'll find the Egyptian magician.
By the way, Tony, earlier in this segment,
yeah,
you mentioned that a percentage of the American population couldn't name the vice president.
Correct.
I thought that was probably an overestimation.
No.
You are correct.
I know I am.
This is disturbing. There's a Newsweek poll that was released. They asked Americans 5 basic questions. Only 34% of Americans polled, of the 1,000 people polled, got it right. One of them was to name the current vice president. 29% of Americans could not name the current vice president. That's insane.
Of course it is.
73% said they couldn't say why America fought the Cold War. 44% couldn't define the Bill of Rights. 6% couldn't even tell you when Independence Day was, which is just completely insane. And then 80% didn't know who was president during World War I.
Most people couldn't tell you who the last president was. Even the last president himself couldn't tell you who was the president.
That's disturbing.
Have you ever seen these men on the street? You ever seen these people interviewing like the young people on the beach? What's his name? The guy who's on with
Jesse Waters.
Yeah, what's his name?
I forget what his name is.
Johnny.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty funny. I give him credit. That guy's got great patience. He doesn't rough up people, and they all answer him, but they all have the wrong answers.
I always think they pick and choose losers on those.
No, they don't.
They edit it, but I guess they don't.
No, they don't know. These people are that dumb. And it's not that they're dumb. They're just not. They don't pay attention to politics. So when you ask people, like, who's your congressperson, most people couldn't tell you. Do you know who your congressperson is?
Yeah.
Who?
It's Donald Norcross.
I know who my congressperson is. You know why?
Get quizzed.
There's a pop quiz. Justin, you know who your congressperson is?
Yeah, it's Congressman Jeff Van Drew.
You like Jeff Van Drew?
I'm JVD's friend of the show.
Exactly. All right, let's
But
go
vice president, that's abysmal.
Yeah.
29%.
Exactly.
Ooh,
let's go
have to break, Tony.
We have to break. Let's take a
I
break.
lost track of time.
Let's take it. Now we're going to 7 o'clock, so we don't have to freak out about 6 o'clock. We're going to distance,
and
we're going for speed.
Don't forget, Tony, at 6 o'clock, we get Jennifer Kuiper for one last time.
That's right. Everybody, get your cassette tape recorders out. Get your old Morances, your little Radio Shack tape recorders, and push the red and the other button. Hit record. This will be the very last Jennifer Kuiper CBS News.
You'll be telling your grandkids you listen to it live.
Absolutely right.
Radio history.
I used to listen to CBS News when they had like legendary radio hosts. And I'm not knocking her. That's her job. Only 29% of likes to the viewers, too. What? How was it 29? So there's 100 and no, that's more than 29%.
He's making a joke.
Is that Wayne?
Oh, it's a vice president thing. Is that what?
Oh,
yeah, he's trying to get more people to like the.
Well, thank you, Wayne. I know he's a friend. I know who the trolls are. Trolls don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay the toll to the troll on this show. We're going to take a break. We're going to get Bruce in Hatboro. Stand by. We'll come back. We'll take your call. Open lines. You want to get in? 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210 is the number. We're coming right back.
Hi, this is your old boy Chuck McDougal. Would you like to hear more of the Brunos on 1210 WPHT? Would you like to hear Tony drop the occasional F-bomb and Miss Robin adding some of her charm and wit to the show? Of course you do. That's why you can call 1-800-McDougal. And your old boy Chuck McDougal will get on the phone with Greg Stocker, and I will tell him to give the people what they want, damn it. More Brunos. So just pick up the phone and dial 1-800-McDougal.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Hey, it's Nick Cale here, and your life has many dimensions, and now there's an SUV engineered to support every one of them. My friends from Piazza Mazda put me behind the wheel of the new 2026 Mazda CX-5, the most spacious CX-5 yet, with more room for both passengers and cargo. Feel complete control like I did with the 15-inch touchscreen and built-in Google technology. Experience the all-new 2026 CX-5 for yourself today at Piazza Mazda of Westchester or in Reading. Browse inventory online at piazzamazda.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A well-organized home isn't a luxury, it's a practical upgrade. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, garages, and home offices, built to fit your space and your needs. You'll work with a designer, choose the look, and get professional installation, so the project stays simple and the results last. Start with a free design consultation at ClosetFactory.com. That's ClosetFactory.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Dude. I'm tripping now, man. It's 5:45. Thirsty Thursday, May 21st. Matt DeSantis, Justin Otero. Let's go to Bruce in Hatboro. Not Horsham, Hatboro. Bruce, how are you?
Yo, John, hold on. That guy, a previous caller, was making me hungry. But he forgot the mortadella and the provolone.
Oh, you got to have the provolone. No, he had cheeses. You got to have meats and cheeses. You just can't go with meats. If you got meats, right. You got to have cheeses and you got to have bread. You know what I'm saying?
You got it. Yep. Listen, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
All this bullshit with the oil. Biden's brother, Jim, Biden set a deal with him and Saudi Arabia. He bought 2 million or 3 million barrels of oil at $70.
Yep.
When oil at that time was $80.
Mm-hmm.
Now, oil's up to $110, $105, whatever it is. How does he cut a deal like that? And why does nobody have anything to say about it?
I don't know. I mean, you're asking the wrong guy. I have no clue. You know, I think
why
it's
is that not even ever brought up?
I think people bring it up. The bottom line is that, you know, we're looking at the situation where Biden had to you know, when the Iran war with Russia started, I mean, I'm sorry, when the Russian war in Ukraine started under Joe Biden, the gases shot up because whenever there's some sort of problem across, remember back in the day when anything happened.
But wait a second. He opened up all the Alaskan oil reserves, the national reserve.
Yes, he did.
Depleted everything, and yet let his brother buy all the goddamn oil from Saudi Arabia at a cut rate price.
I understand now. People are talking about it, but you couldn't criticize Joe Biden. Listen, I had no problem. I don't care who the president is normally. Joe Biden was his own biggest enemy. You know, he's the guy falling around, and the media didn't even want to say anything. And I didn't want to make fun of a man falling down steps and stuff. I didn't want to do that. But Joe Biden was an absolute terrible president. That's the fact. It's not a personal attack. I don't hate the guy personally. But the bottom line is the guy didn't do a good job, and everybody saw it. Because Barack Obama needed somebody, and he wasn't going to put Hillary back up again. So he said, all right, Joe, let me give you a shot. We'll try to help you go along. And he didn't. Joe failed, and then he failed at the debate. He dropped the ball, and then Kamala came in, and now they're not even in the autopsy of the 2024 election. They still don't blame Kamala or Joe Biden. How do you have an autopsy when that was the reason that they lost to Trump?
Well, that's what annoys me about the Republican Party. The GOP, I'm almost ready to go independent. They got no gayuns, okay? There's like nothing.
I agree. I hate all parties except what do you call a party? Bob Pantano dance party on Saturday nights over in New Jersey at the Adelphia.
You got it. Hey, welcome back to Philly, Tony, by the way.
Thank you, Bruce.
But I don't understand why nobody, they raid Mar-a-Lago, they do this, they do that.
I agree.
But they don't do shit about Biden's brother.
Come on, Bruce. You're too emotional. You're like me. You're an Italian, and you're getting hot and heavy. We can't use profanity here. But I appreciate you calling. Now, Matt has his finger on the pulse. Whenever I talk, he's ready to dump me. And, Bruce, because he was fired up. He didn't dump him, and he said 2 bad words.
No, we got the first one. We let the first one slide.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad word. He said bull poop.
No, we got that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can't you say bull poop but not the actual other word? I don't know. That word should be able to be said.
Well, again, you're gonna have to take
when I run the FCC, I will make a new list of words that are now acceptable to say on over-the-air FCC regulated media. You know what I'm saying?
What would be the number one if you could only get one word? Well, don't say it, but
no, the S word.
Okay.
The S word should be said. Not the sauce word, not sauce. The S word. The T word should be able to be said.
I thought that's the one you were going to go
No,
with.
the T word's a no-brainer. I mean, these are just too easy. I can give you a list of 10 words that should be said right now.
Don't say them. Don't say them.
I'm not going to say them. I'm a professional, all right? You think I'm a Stu Nut that's flying off the handle using profanity? You know how hard it is to talk when I talk in real life? I'm still the same guy. I don't put on a name. But how about bovine caca? Can you say that?
No, you can't say that.
Yes, you can. Caca's not a bad word.
You can say that.
He's a soccer player. Remember Caca?
I thought you. Sorry. I thought.
He's a little too itchy on that finger.
I'm concerned now.
I'm not going to say a bad word. I know how this works. Jeez.
Well, Bruce didn't know how it worked.
No, Bruce is an Italian guy who was riled up. I get riled up. I don't have to use profanity unless I'm not on the air.
Bruce slipped a couple in there.
I know, but see, he's not a guy who's used to being on the radio. He's a guy who talks like that all the time.
You're a professional, though.
I talk like that all the time when I'm not on the radio. That's the hardest thing, is to know when not to say that stuff. But I'm telling you, I'm going to come up with a list, and I'm going to pass it around to all the media. And I will come up with how many words? Because George Carlin actually would call my show when I was on the air in L.A. because he lived in Venice. And he called me one morning. You talk about shocks. One of the all-time greats. And he called into my show because he was listening.
That's pretty
And you know
awesome.
what he said to me? He said, Bruno, I like the way you think. And when George Carlin calls you on a radio show and says he likes the way you think, what does that tell you?
That's high praise. George Carlin's hilarious. And it's 7 words that you can't say.
The 7 words. I'm going to come up with the fresh new 7 words.
Okay.
Somebody needs to update it. It's not the 1960s anymore. You know what I'm saying?
One of them is not like the others. It's urinate, but we don't say it begins with a P.
Why can't we say the P word?
Don't say.
There's multiple P words we can't. No, we can say one P word. Now, people are getting away with that now, you notice?
It depends how you use it.
Yeah, if we dump for something that's not dump worthy, you lose the challenge, Cole. Cole checking in. You can't have a trigger finger.
Well,
whether you have a gun, whether you're out there, you have to know how to hold a gun. You don't put your finger on the trigger. You put it on the side of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
I keep my finger on the trigger all the time. I'm ready to fire.
You are. You're absolutely the most paranoid person I've ever seen. And you're working with I've been doing this 55 years. And now all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, you're worried about me?
I'm not worried about you right now. I was worried about Bruce.
No, you're worried about me. You're the one who dumped me multiple times.
You said one of the 7 bad words.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
And then you came up with this list of 10 words that you think you should say. That made me a little bit nervous, too. I've had my finger on the trigger ever since.
Anyway, as someone once said. But can you say this?
Boobs and money, money and boobs.
That's the boss, Greg Stock.
Yeah.
Can you say boobs?
You can say boobs.
You can say boobs, but you can't say the other word that only has 3 letters that also refer to boobs.
Yeah, you can't say that one, as we learned earlier this week.
That to me is the most ridiculous thing ever.
I make the rules.
Who made the rule?
The FCC.
There's not. Show me the FCC rule book, the guidebook.
I don't have it on hand. I don't skim through it regularly for my own enjoyment, but it's in there.
It's ridiculous. You don't have that. I want you to produce evidence.
By the way,
do you know who I am and how long I've been doing this?
I do.
I've probably spoken 1 billion words, maybe even more in my career. And I don't think I've used profanity on the air more than 3 times. Seriously. Things that had to be dumped. But on this show, I get dumped a couple of times in one show.
But you only got dumped once this week.
By the way, we're going to have a jerky. Did we find a good jerky boy to play? Next
Justin,
hour, of course.
Yeah, we'll get one. We'll get one.
Yeah, the jerky boys, they were great. Now everybody's doing that, calling people. And Alan Funt was the original one. Alan Funt, who was on Candid Camera. He would do that. And people would laugh back then. Now when people scam somebody and scare them, they get socked. A brawl breaks out. You remember they candid, like they would embarrass people doing stuff? The same thing with those impractical joker guys. What happens if somebody gets mad and then just turns around and just knocks you out?
Adam Carolla had a show. What was it, Crank
Yankers? Yeah,
that was similar. I think the trick is you have to call from Nevada, though, because I'm pretty sure that's the only state where you don't need 2 people to consent for the call to be recorded.
Nobody needs consent to record a call.
No, you do. You can't use it.
No, you don't.
You do.
How come all these people get wiretapped and get nailed?
Well, that's the government. I guess
we got to get to Jennifer Kuiper. Ladies and gentlemen, for one last time, we present to you. We going to take a break? Do we have time to get, or should we take it right to her?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, we do have to. We have to get 3 minutes of commercial.
All right, let's get these commercials in. I want to hear Jennifer Kuiper one last time. We're coming back to 7 o'clock hour. Some jerky boys and some beef jerky and some turkey jerky. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/radio to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/radio to get started and save. legacybox.com/radio.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and the world's #1 expandable hose has gone ballistic. The brand new Pocket Hose Ballistic is here, and it's the hose I reach for every time. This brand new anti-burst sleeve uses an extraordinary new liquid crystal polymer used in bulletproof vests, tough enough to handle anything your outdoor tasks throw its way. And that's not all. The Pocket Hose Ballistic comes with even more upgrades like thicker washers that resist leaks and an enhanced UV coating so your hose looks brand new year after year. What could be better than that? How about not 1, but 2 free gifts with your purchase? For a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text SUMMER to 64,000. That's SUMMER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. That's SUMMER to 64,000.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Any appliance retailer can say they offer the lowest prices and claim they deliver the best customer experience. But how do they hold themselves accountable? At National Appliance Warehouse, we use Price Assure to guarantee we're honoring our lowest price promise. We'll expertly help you navigate over 100 brands on display to ensure you select the perfect appliances, treating you like friends or family throughout. And within 24 hours of our skilled professionals delivering and installing your appliances, a National Appliance Warehouse associate will call to make sure you're happy. If your other appliance retailer didn't do that, it might be time to switch to National Appliance Warehouse.
The Mega Memorial Day sale is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Save an incredible 35% on select GE appliances. Browse an unmatched collection of GE, Cafe, GE Profile, and Monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. Your focus is supporting this child. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is sending U.S. troops to Poland. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
In a post on social media, President Trump says he'll be sending an additional 5,000 troops to Poland, adding his decision is based on his relationship with Polish President Nawrocki. The president posted he was sending the troops due to the election of Nawrocki, but it is unclear if those troops are also meant for previously scheduled deployment that had been delayed as Trump has increasingly pressured Europe to fend for itself.
We're just getting this in that Kyle Busch, a 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, has died after being hospitalized with what his family called a serious illness. Kyle Busch was 41. Gunmen have opened fire in 2 separate attacks on the Honduran coast, killing at least 16 people, including 6 police officers. The Justice Department's anti-weaponization fund is getting some pushback from Congress. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche met with Republican senators today, and CBS's Sarah Lynch says there are a lot of questions being asked.
We don't even know if there'll be people from inside the government, outside the government, or who is even eligible to serve on the commission itself.
A judge in Minnesota has handed down a 42-year prison sentence to the former leader of a nonprofit convicted in a massive fraud case. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Amy Bach claimed to have run a program providing millions of meals to needy children during the pandemic.
The fraud here in Minnesota
is shocking.
The Justice Department calls it the single largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the country, and others were charged today. Assistant Attorney General Colin McDonald.
We are announcing criminal charges against 15 defendants in Minnesota for fraud schemes that targeted over $90 million in taxpayer dollars.
He said we will claw back every dollar.
President Trump says the Supreme Court must not strike down his executive order denying birthright citizenship to anyone born in the United States.
If this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster economically for our country, and you'll have 25% of the people coming into our country coming in through birthright citizenship, and we won't have any control.
Trump's executive order has been blocked by lower courts that found it likely unconstitutional. A Gallup poll finds young Americans are more pessimistic about what the job market will be like when they get out of college. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Young college grads, let's say 22 to 27-year-olds, they are experiencing a higher unemployment rate. Like right now, we have a 4.3% rate. And the young grads are in the fives.
Our copy editor is Kathleen Biggins. On the assignment desk is Gloria Chapa and Gautier Giacomoni. And our desk associate is Jasmine Gonzalez. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
The works of an elusive British street artist are still a hot commodity.
Banksy's Girl with Balloon, found on Landscape, part of his kitschy crude oil series, has sold for $18 million at auction in New York. The grayscale painting features a little girl on a bank in the woods watching her red heart-shaped balloon float over a stream flowing down from a snow-capped mountain. The price is the third highest paid for a Banksy at auction. The Wall Street Journal says the new owner, an anonymous American collector, phoned in to bidding held in an apartment lounge inside Tiffany's flagship store in Manhattan. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
Artificial intelligence chipmaker Nvidia's quarterly results blew past Wall Street's expectations once again, fueled by massive demand for its high-end AI chips. The company says it earned $58 billion in the February to April period. That is up from $18.7 billion in the same period a year earlier. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
It's Tony Bruno in the chair, flying solo on the air. From 3 to 7 Philly ride. 12:10, he's your guide. Hot takes and laughs, he'll never miss a beat. When Bruno's on the mic, you know he brings the heat.
Yeah, baby. Chilly
So
out there.
tune the dial to the best in the nation. Matt and Justin hold it down, producing at the station. WPHT, bringing the finest in our radio. Yeah, Tony on the mic for the 3 to 7 show.
Oh, yeah. I like lounge lizards. Lot lizards are not bad either if you're a truck driver and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're at a Buc-ee's. But that's for different people for different times. Good evening. It is 6:07 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. People like that move. I like that guy. I may get that guy to sing at my next divorce party. 855-839-1210. Welcome. We'll find some jerky boys. But we have a couple calls on the line. Should we go to the phones here? Yeah. Greg wants to talk about the profanity segment last hour, but please don't use any profanity while discussing profanity here.
You're going to give DeSantis a heart attack.
On Talk Radio 1210. This is my final hour of the week. So I want to see if Matt DeSantis still has his laser focus on the dump button as we go to Greg in the Northeast. Greg, how are you?
Hi, Justin, Matt, Tony. You're going to give him a medical condition. Tomorrow, Matt's going to have a brace on his hand. You're going to give him carpal tunnel. Him have to hit that dump button.
No, I'm not going to be on tomorrow, so he gets a reprieve. Now, who's doing the show tomorrow? Do we know? Sean Farish. Well, he's a little risky, too.
He's not like you. This show is wonderful. All I want to hear Tony Bruno's nursery rhymes. You might as well go totally ballistic and sound like Andrew Dice Clay.
Mother Goose. Mother Goose. Hickory dickory dock.
This way, I know why you won't be on tomorrow, because you're going to exhaust all those words right now. You have 42. You have 52 minutes to get it all out of your system. You know, this way you might as well, if you're going to come in, you come in big and you go out even bigger. So let's hear it, though. Let's hear it all.
Thank you, Greg. I'm not a guy who likes to use bad words. I got grandkids. I got a reputation to uphold or look down on. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, I'm editing a Jerky Boys clip right now. They also have a
well, that's why they were funny.
Yeah.
The Frank Rizzo one was good too, because I don't even think they knew who Frank Rizzo was when they had a character calling people up when they said, "Who is this?" and he would say, "Frank Rizzo."
I think that's the one I have. He mentions his name as Rizzo, although he doesn't give.
It's
his first
Frank
name
Rizzo.
Frank.
The guy calls himself. I don't know. I'm not a potty mouth. Come on, man. Let's go to G, not G Love, in South Jersey. G yet? No, Jew.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. And I like the Frank Sinatra lead in music. That's very nice.
Yeah, I like it too. I felt like getting my smoking jacket on and maybe getting a martini or.
Yeah, dim the lights, crack open the wine.
Exactly right.
Very nice. About the language.
Yes.
You're driving Matt crazy. He's going to have some kind of nervous problem when he leaves tonight because, it's just like. It's kind of like somebody hanging onto your coat at the rail station, and they just keep pushing you out, but they still have the coat. But you're afraid they're going to let go.
But Rich Scioli says controversial things on the air. Does he ever get dumped?
I've had to use the dump button on him
Once
several
in a while,
times.
Yeah. But it seems like there's a lot higher tendency with you. It's
Wait a minute, G. There's no tendency. I'm not. I haven't even. People said you're always angry. I'm not angry. I'm Italian.
You're not angry. It's just it just makes it seem a lot more likely it's going to happen with you.
So is that something you anticipate, hope for, or grimace at?
A little of both. Yeah.
Wait, bad words are make you
no.
timid?
It's just you know, I know it's a fine line between getting dumped and not getting dumped, but you just get this little orneriness going on. It's like, let's see what I can get away with.
No,
here.
I don't. That's not the way it works. I just speak, and then if the bad word's coming, I have to make a split-second decision. It's not something I contemplate.
Or change the subject.
Why? There's got to be a conclusion.
Because you're driving Matt nuts. That's why.
No, I'm not. I drive him nuts when I tell him to go out to the meter so I don't get my car towed away.
That's just not fair. You should get someone else to do that. He's a professional. He needs to be there and keep an eye on you.
I agree. No, I don't send him out. I actually I stood in the rain and wrote down the area. Because, above the meters, they have like the 934-801. That's the zone you're in. So I'm standing out in the pouring rain a mile away from here. Maybe half a mile from here, a quarter mile. It's in the rain. And I'm standing there with my backpack, my water bottle. I'm trying to remember if I have the phone in the car, take it out, it's raining, and I have to write down the meter number. And the meter guy there was nice, African-American guy. He hasn't given me a ticket, but some other guy, Asian guy, did yesterday. And I'm going to have to find him the next time. But anyway, so I write it down, and then Matt, I give him my credit card, and I said, can you please, while I'm on the air, because I had an hour, and he did it for me. I don't demand it or yell at him. I don't yell at any of the producers. I've never yelled. I've never struck anybody.
I didn't say you did.
No, I mean, but there are a lot of on-air talents that get ornery, and they say, I got to get this guy fired. I didn't say fire Matt DeSantis because he keeps blocking me.
I won't give anybody any ideas.
I'm not a tyrant like that.
Everybody loves Matt DeSantis.
Oh, thank you, G. I don't think that's true, but
now,
I appreciate it.
Now, are you related to Matt DeSantis in any way, shape, or form?
No, I'm not. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm just a big-time listener to the radio station because for some bizarre reason, 1210 comes in a lot better than KYW, but you guys are a lot more interesting than KYW.
Well, they're just doing news. We're doing entertainment content with news mixed in.
Well, I used to turn them on to find out what's happening in the world, but now they don't know what they're supposed to be talking about. So I just listen to you guys, and I learn a lot more.
Thank you. And if I had a press credential on my car, I wouldn't have gotten that ticket, and I blame KYW for that. And I blame everybody there, all the news anchors, all the people working in the newsroom, at the editor's desk with Maggie Shivani, any of those people. And I saw, has been working at 1210. I mean, at KYW. Scott Graham, who used to work with me. He's the voice you hear him. He's on NFL films. He does all kinds of commercials. He's filling in at KYW on FM, of course. Jennifer Kuiper. No, I don't think she's getting a job at KYW. But, gee, thank you so much. I'm not a guy who yells and screams or uses bad words, even when I'm drunk, which is very rare. Did she go? Are you familiar with Jean? Because she called before to give you love, Matt?
I think she has called in before, but that was the first time she ever said anything nice about me. So, G, call in all the time as far as I'm concerned.
Not G Love with the special sauce, which we played a little bit of yesterday.
Yeah, they were good.
They are good. Not were. They still are. Well, by the way, if you listen to the top of the hour CBS News, shocking news in the world of sports, Kyle Busch, NASCAR legend, dead at the age of 41. So now I don't have all the details, neither did Jennifer Kuiper, but that's pretty amazing. Yeah, Scott Graham did baseball, but he's known now on NFL films. He does all of the commercials that you hear. You make the calls and all of those other things. But no, Scott Graham's great. I worked with him a long time ago when he was just a young punk, and I was a younger, older man. You know what I'm saying? Not G Love XI. You know what I'm saying?
By the way,
yes.
Oh, I was going to say, they're saying Kyle Busch died of a severe illness, but they didn't say what the illness was. He just competed 3 days ago.
Yeah, he was
I know.
Just at Dover.
No, it can't be. It can't be a severe illness when you just were driving a race car a couple of days ago, this past weekend. So I think Jennifer Kuiper said his family reported that he died suddenly.
No, the family put out a statement earlier.
Do we have
today.
the statement? Yeah, go ahead and read it because I'm not on any news sites. I'm just on the chat.
This wasn't announcing his death. This was 7 hours ago before he had passed.
So they said something about his condition?
Yeah, statement regarding Kyle Busch from the Busch family. Kyle has experienced a severe illness resulting in hospitalization. He is currently undergoing treatment and will not compete in any of his scheduled activities this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We ask for understanding and privacy as our family navigates this situation, and that was 7 hours ago.
So that was like 11 o'clock this morning, around then, that they were reporting he has a severe condition. So it's got, how do you have a severe condition, a severe illness, a couple of days after you just drove a racing car at high speed and with a big race coming up? So, listen, the guy's dead. That's a shocker. But the circumstances surrounding this is weird, right? Yeah. If they said that he has severe illness at 11 o'clock this morning and it's Thursday, what could that severe illness, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to be, no, it wasn't COVID. I had COVID vaccine side effects. I had a heart attack. He was he won at Dover in the truck series last Friday night. Oh, that's a shocker. Because that's one of those, you just saw him race, and he didn't get into a crash. And so then to hear that it's a severe illness, that's what makes it stunning. So we'll find out more as time goes on. But one of the legends in racing, Kyle Busch. What's the phone number again?
855-839-1210.
See what's happening here? I'm like starting to fade in my final hour. Could this be the real final hour? Could be this like final destination where they keep having a 1 and a 2 and the 3. How many are they up to in the Final Destination movies?
I feel like they've at least got 5 or 6.
I want to say it's 7.
Let's find out.
I never watched a single one of them.
The first one's not great. That's a weird movie series where the first one's not that good, but the second one is kind of fun. They actually got better, and then they started.
It's like people dying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the whole premise is that they avoid death initially. They cheat death, but then death wants them anyway, so they have to constantly evade these horrible ways to.
See, I don't want to watch it. I love horror movies, but I don't like the slasher ones or kids in the cabin in the wood because they're all going to die and you don't care about any of those people. I have to be attached to the character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those types of horror movies.
No, I don't. No, the slashing one, because those can be real people in the woods jumping out and cutting your throat. We have enough of those crazy people out there with knives.
You just walk around Philadelphia.
Exactly. Go down to K&A, go walk in Center City. And you're seeing a lot of machete attacks all over the place. Yeah, there's no doubt. It's got to be a stroke, aneurysm, one of those things. That's a serious illness. So I don't want to speculate, but when you hear serious illness and then 7 hours later, or I don't know, it probably happened right before Jennifer Kuiper got it.
It was like 5 minutes before we went to CBS News that they announced he had passed.
Because I don't have the old ticker tape running in the background here. So I don't have I'm not even on X, and I'm sure it is on X. And if you're on X, not ecstasy. We don't do that on the show. But anyway, 8-5. I sound like Joe Biden now. My safe word is anyway.
Well, it's been a long show. We're already 3.5 hours in.
I'm not saying it's a long show. People work 10 hours a day, killing themselves.
Yeah, but people don't talk 10 hours a day. Nonstop.
I'm not talking 10 hours a day.
No, I'm just saying, you've got a tough job.
It's not a tough job.
You've got to entertain the city of Philadelphia for 4 straight hours. That's not easy. Not many people can do it. I think a lot of people think they can do it, which is, my proof is everyone has a podcast now, and none of them are any good.
Marcus Aurelius says the guy who was singing earlier could have caused sudden death.
Oh, that guy, was his name Joe?
Joe in
South Philly? Was that where he was?
No, he wasn't in South Philly. Where was he? I don't remember now.
I liked his song.
No, he came up with a song in no time.
I thought it was lyrically very impressive.
Yes.
He is not a gifted singer. However.
Southwest Philadelphia.
Southwest Philly.
Yeah, Southwest Philly. Southwest is the best. Now, I don't know. The original Friday the 13th, yeah, but then after that, how many times do you have to see it? The guy dies and then he comes back. Then Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are legendary. But they don't have to make 50 of those. When they die, when Chucky died the first time. Then he became the coach of the Oakland Raiders.
John Gruden. Yeah.
John Gruden became Chucky. And then he was obviously an offensive coordinator with the Eagles back in the day. You know that, John Gruden?
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was at WIP on the morning show, I went down to interview the coach when he was an assistant coach in town. And he moved up the food chain. And now some people want him back, but then the league's not going to bring him, but they're not going to allow him to coach again because of stupid emails. Is that ridiculous?
Yeah, I mean, he was a really good coach, too. He won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers.
I know. By the way, fish is on. And that's good when you say fish is on. It means you got a hit. But you got to remember to keep the tip down for just a second and then slowly reel it in. When people get, my little grandchild who's only 4 years old, he was out there fishing the other day in Maryland, and the kid's awesome. The kid can hit a baseball. This kid's going to be a superstar. I hope I'm around to see it.
Speaking of fishing, did you see Ben Simmons won a fishing title in the Bahamas?
About damn time he won something. He won a fishing title. Go on a boat, you throw out the lure, you're trolling, and you get a hit, and you reel it in. Set the damn hook is right. And by the way, Fish is on says he drinks like a fish, too. So at least he's legit. Although his character looks like, I can't tell if I look at his avatar. Is it a guy in a monkey suit? Is it a guy with glasses? Is it a dog? I don't know what he is.
Yeah, I just look. It's a dog in glasses.
A dog in glasses. How does a dog in glasses have a fish on? It's hard, even with glasses for a fish. Anyway, 855-839-1210. Now, there was one other thing that I wanted. Oh, did you find? Are we doing the jerky, boys? Did you edit it properly yet?
Yeah, there was a lot of editing. We do have the Jerky Boys. They're ready to go if you want to hear.
Yeah, let's go some Jerky Boys. And it's been cleaned up, so I don't want G to get upset. And now we know that Matt DeSantis doesn't have to have his hand hovering over. I mean, they're desperately shaking over the dump button.
Well, I edited it quickly, so I may still hover over the dump button just to be on the safe side. But this is a mobster calling into a new car. This is a dealership, I guess. He wants to become a new car salesman.
Okay, so he's applying for a job, not online, over the phone.
Over the phone.
Exactly. Let's go to the tape.
No.
This is not a good bit. I'm sorry. Cut this off.
We'll see.
That's not a good one, man.
Yeah, it wasn't that funny.
It wasn't. I thought it was Frank Rizzo.
I don't know. He said Rizzo, so I grabbed it.
Not Paul Rizzo. Frank Rizzo was the better, funnier one.
I didn't know if there was a Frank Rizzo bit. Anyway,
but the magician,
Rizzo,
Egyptian magician, the WPHT sales team can't learn anything from that guy. I think that they would have hung the phone up on this guy a long time ago. In fact, some of our callers sound like that guy when they call the show. Hey, I can do that. What are you doing? I pushed the guy's head into the thing. Guy didn't want to buy the car. I just pushed his head into the fender.
He cursed slightly more often than our listeners do.
Though. Oh, yeah, no, that's the whole bit. They use profanity, which I very rarely, if ever, do. So don't you dare put me in that league.
I'm not going to tolerate your crap.
Did you find the Brandon Gill thing? Let's get to somebody who's really good. If you don't know Brandon Gill, God, Brandon Gill is a congressperson from the state of Florida. I mean, from the state of Texas. What's wrong with me? From the state of Texas. This guy is smooth, good-looking, cool, calm, collected. And whenever he interviews people, questions people who come before his committee, and he's on several committees, but this guy is the best. The best guy in D.C., because no matter who the person is, he doesn't allow them to go on tirades. He doesn't allow them to try to distract from the questions at hand. And they don't, he doesn't say reclaiming my time like a lot of these other idiots do when they're questioning somebody and the person starts going off and then they start reclaiming my time. He doesn't reclaim his time because he knows how to ask questions. And this is yesterday. So he's asking some woman named Wesley. What's her first name?
It's Maya Wiley. She's
Maya
a
Wiley.
progressive attorney. She
Maya
worked for Bill de Blasio
Wiley,
at one point.
who's an attorney. And
MSNBC legal analyst.
yeah,
currently.
she was. I think she was. I think they fired her. Maya Wiley, who's an attorney, and she went there with a different agenda on her mind, not what the task at hand was. And just listen as Brandon Gill just absolutely takes her to the woodshed without even raising his voice. Let's go to the tape.
You said, quote, I'm going to take $1 billion from New York City Police Department. Do you still think that's a good idea?
Well, I'm here to talk about hate crimes, not my run
just asking
for
if that's-
city.
if- I'm
I
asking from a
stand by my
public's-
run for mayor, and I
you
appreciate
stand by
the
that
opportunity
statement. You also
to try to
stated-
drive dollars
You also
to
stated
public
you
safety.
have to cut the police budget and change what we mean by policing. Do you still stand by that statement as well?
I stand by the need to invest in community safety, to ensure that
by
we have a
defunding the
vibrant
police.
civil rights community that is able to participate in
I just want to
keeping
be
our
clear.
community
You
safe
believe in
from hate
investing
and
in
bias.
community safety by defunding the police?
I am here to say that I'm really grateful we have the Southern Poverty Law Center because it is doing work, including with law
and you
enforcement,
think defunding
to
the police
prevent
makes our community
hate and
safer?
bias.
Okay.
Yeah, so she drops the Southern Poverty Law Center as an organization that she looks up to for helping to find and call. Didn't they just get nailed not that long ago for being frauds who were actually not helping people? They were targeting people that they disagreed with and called them racist and tried to destroy their lives and businesses. And this idiot goes up there and starts saying, I'm here to defend the Southern Poverty Law Center. Talk about brain dead. How do you bring that up? Now, if it was a month ago or before the Southern Poverty Law Center was exposed, I could see her bringing that up. But to drop that now on a guy, remember, this woman ran for mayor. I think she got fired by MSNBC or MS Now.
You're correct. Yeah, they did let her go.
They fired her at MS Now.
She was too impartial, apparently, which is insane by MSNBC standards.
Imagine somebody getting fired from MS Now being that radical left. And they fired her for what reason?
Apparently she was too biased.
Too biased for MS Now?
That's what popped up. Yeah, it was unreasonable, I guess.
But she ran for mayor of New York, right? And lost, if I'm not mistaken.
I know she worked for de Blasio. I don't know if she ended up running for mayor herself. And then to your point, yeah, the Southern Poverty Law Center just last month was indicted for 11 counts of wire fraud, bank fraud, and money laundering. They were taking money that was donated to their organization and allegedly distributing it to extremist groups like the KKK and neo-Nazi organizations.
Exactly. So they were supposedly going after the neo-Nazis and finding all the white supremacists on the street, but they were targeting people that they just disagreed with, who in no way, shape, or form were doing anything to hurt minorities or anybody. So they've been exposed, and now she's out. This is yesterday. And she's still dropping SPLC stuff on him? That's ridiculous. Now, did Donald Trump really endorse Pratt? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't really endorse
They asked him about it, and he said he liked the guy, but he didn't know much about him, and he's trying to be like Trump. So I don't know if he actually did it. So I don't know. I'm watching Fox News up on the screen, and I don't know where they got that from, because Trump did not actually endorse him.
Also, it might be in Pratt's best interest not to get that endorsement, because I don't think it's going to play especially well in Los Angeles.
Well, remember, Trump met with Karen Bass in the White House, and Karen Bass hates Trump, and so did this other nitwit Rahman. I call her Nitwit Rahman. She's, everybody's looking for Democratic socialists now. That's the hot ticket now if you want to run for office in blue cities and blue states. Doesn't get bluer than L.A.
By the way, Pratt did an interview with CNN earlier today. And
he was on
explained
CNN. Did he ask why they couldn't get the autopsy on the 2026 election,
They did
24 election done?
I'll admit I didn't watch the entire interview. Perhaps it came up.
Do we have that? Spencer Pratt on CNN?
This is cut.
Was he in the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, or was he on with Jake Strapper?
I think this is Alex Michelson.
Oh, another guy that was in L.A. on Fox 11 and was basically a lapdog for Gavin Newsom in his time out there. Let's go to the tape.
Why are you a Republican?
Well, you want to break some news here?
Sure.
It's in my, I've told this before, and this is the only time I've ever said this, so this is breaking news. Everyone's going to freak out. When I was a hated reality star, I got so many death threats. I had so much security and police, and what did they tell me to do? Get a gun. This is real. I know people don't like guns, but LA was dangerous if you're hated. So I got a gun. My wife got a gun. And then we needed CCWs. The only people that supported a CCW was the Republican. That was what I aligned with, my safety, my personal safety, my family's safety. I know people don't like guns, but when people are threatening your life and your own security is telling you need to have home protection, train to, it's not like just I went to the, go through the proper steps. That was that's it.
And that was it. And you felt like that party was more pro Second Amendment.
And I know that's a very hot button, but here's the thing. I'm also going to be the mayor that puts LAPD in front of every school to make schools safe from guns. Right now we have
enough officers to do that?
I talked to a very knowledgeable law enforcement. All you have to do is pick one patrol unit and you give them a nice pin that connects to that school, and that's their street. So they add that one. So that's already part of mine, just because obviously I know people don't like guns and we need to make everything, especially schools, safe. But that is where I connect to. And once you feel fear and it's real, you want to protect your family. So
that's pretty good. That's a good interview. I'm surprised. But you notice Alex Michelson is grilling him over this. You like guns? You think the Republicans defend the Second Amendment? Yes, Alex. Yes, you're a journalist. You should know that. You lived in L.A. You were on Fox 11 in L.A. And every time you had Gavin Newsom on, you really, really, really liked him. And you never asked him any tough questions. Why was that, Alex? And why is your name Alex and not Alex? Who spells your name E-L-E-X? Who spells Alex? You know anybody named Alex?
No.
It's got to be Alex, right? Or Al. Or Lex. Not Alex.
Lex is a cool name. By the way, Pratt sounds very reasonable in that clip. Would you like to hear his opponent, Karen Bass? She did an interview with Politico earlier today. Now,
it was today that she give out fresh teeth to the meth addicts on the streets so they can get a job with no, because you can't have, if you're a meth addict on the streets of LA, her big control is to have fake teeth given to meth addicts because that will put them back on their feet and get hired at a Fortune 500 company.
Well, I did not see her hand out any teeth during this Politico event. However, do you remember during the debate, all the candidates were asked a yes or no question. They explicitly said yes or no. Do you think non-Americans should vote in American elections?
I remember Spencer it like Pratt it was last week.
He said no. Karen Bass and Nithya Raman basically just refused to answer the question. They beat around the bush.
Yes.
Well, now Karen Bass is saying it might be something we should explore.
Oh, do we have this? Is this another CNN interview?
Nah, this is from Politico. This is cut
Politico.
16,
Okay.
Justin.
Let's go to the tape.
Councilmember Hugo Soto Martinez, who has endorsed you, he wants to explore ways to let non-citizens vote in city elections. I know that there are some cities that already do this, but politics is all about timing. With Donald Trump in the White House, is this the right time for Los Angeles to go down this path?
Well, I think we need to explore it. Now, I've not seen exactly what he's calling for. I have a little familiarity of what happens in other cities. And, for example, some cities will allow people to vote in like city council and school board elections because they pay local taxes, but they are not necessarily undocumented. They might be here completely legally, but have not finished the citizenship process. So we'll wait and see.
So in other words, yes, she supports illegal. And you know why illegal aliens can vote in Los Angeles? Because there's no voter ID, which is why a lot of people are joking around and saying they're going to go drive to L.A. and vote for Spencer Pratt because they're not going to ask for ID, so they don't know where you came from. We're coming back. Winding it down here on a beautiful thirsty Thursday. Well, it's not that beautiful. Is it still raining or did it stop raining?
Last time I walked past the window, it was still raining.
I don't want to get my hair wet again. We're coming right back. It's Tony and the gang on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Philadelphia, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid and needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care was built for this moment. We help you get care at home from someone you already trust, a family member or friend who can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists, just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all, training, payroll, and support, so you can stay safe and comfortable at home. And your caregiver gets paid after every shift guaranteed. With 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered, Philly families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 267-489-1601. That's 267-489-1601. Call now. 267-489-1601. 267-489-1601.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
This weather won't last forever. Soon summer will be here and you'll go from always shivering to always sweating. And if your AC barely made it through last summer, Horizon Cooling's here to fix any HVAC issue now. And for a limited time, get a precision tune-up for just $79. But if you're in need of a new system, save big with up to $2,000 in free comfort upgrades plus 0% interest financing. So start now and avoid getting stuck with season passes to Sweatland. Book HorizonServices.com today.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
Recently, our company's softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Living here is about more than just the headlines. It's the new restaurant opening in Fishtown. It's the playoff energy at the bank. It's the festivals that make your neighborhood feel like home.
KYW News Radio brings you the pulse of the Delaware Valley. From service journalism that solves problems to stories that celebrate our culture. We cover the life you're actually living.
Authentic, local, factual. KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news source.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Hey, it's Nick. Transform any living space for summer, indoors or out during the Memorial Day sale at Bucks County Estate Traders. Their showroom is filled with high quality, built to last furniture, and I love the incredible variety. No matter your style, you will find beautiful pieces for every room in your home, plus a huge selection of patio and sunroom furniture. Save 20 to 50% store-wide. The sale runs now through the 31st, so don't miss it. Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their huge showroom in Hatfield. Tell them Nick sent you.
Your heart's rhythm is heart. Don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt?
Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Wait a minute. Is this Hot Smoke and Sassafras by Bubble Puppy?
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, it's Hocus Pocus by Focus. It sounds very much like Hot Smoke and Sassafras. How about pulling those two out? You're not getting this anywhere else.
Not getting that deep cut. Maybe you might Saturday night on This Week in Music History, but you're not getting it anywhere else on 1210 WPHT.
Exactly right. And I don't know these songs are coming. And I was never actually a disc jockey. I just was a studier of music or a student of music. You can be a studier too, can't you? Not a stutterer, no. We left that up to Joe Biden. Remember, he had a stutter. Not a joke. Not a joke. Now, AI is going crazy. Robots are going crazy. There's all kinds of, like there were San Francisco over the weekend, a whole bunch of robots clogged up a sidewalk in San Francisco. Did you see that one?
We have that if you want it. It's we can play it quick. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so a group of humanoid robots clogged up a crosswalk. Those are usually the drug addicts laying in poop on the streets. But this time they were actual robots. People tried to walk around them. And Grace Schmitz, who took the video, said she believed the robots were being controlled by humans nearby. Let's go to the tape. You have to watch this on the YouTube channel. And there they are. Do they look like they're being controlled by humans or humanoids? Here they come.
Actual craziness. The future.
Yeah.
They don't really serve any purpose. They're just clogging up space.
The future? Why do we already have enough people stumbling around on sidewalks.
Yeah, they're not doing
Why
anything.
would we block I was blocked in a crosswalk trying to cross 30th and Market and Chestnut, and you can't make any turns there. So people were honking like crazy. What kind of robot? People would be here in Philly. We killed that other one. What was the name? Hitchbot got murdered.
R.I.P.
What do you think if humanoid robots blocked an intersection in Center City, especially near City Hall?
Yeah, they're serving no purpose.
All the senior citizens with their No Kings rally gear would be out there busting them up. Now we have another one, though, right?
Yeah, this is, I thought this was kind of cool. So this is the Hypershell X Ultra. It's this $2,000
Can I get that online?
You can order it, yeah.
I'd buy it for $1.
Well, it's $2,000. It's AI-powered bionic leg boosters for hiking and cycling. It's basically an exoskeleton that uses AI software.
Bionic. Oh, no, that's Ionic. That was the former mayor of Boston.
So it provides assistance so you can climb hills and walk. And anyway, the reviewer for the Wall Street Journal said that it made climbing upstairs seem as though she was walking up an escalator. This is clip 25. It's her reviewing this.
Is she an old broad or a younger broad?
No, she's pretty young.
Okay. Why does she need this?
She's just testing it.
This is a new AI-powered exoskeleton called the Hypershell X Ultra S.
She hot?
I got to test them for about 2 weeks to see if they helped me hike, run, and bike faster for longer. Here's what it was like to wear them in the wild.
Ooh, in the wild.
Test number 1. Come hike with me with bionic legs. I took these new bionic legs on hikes around San Francisco, where there are plenty of hills. Motors around the hips power carbon fiber arms that push and pull your legs. The exoskeleton's AI tries to detect and predict your movement. In the app, you can adjust the power up and down. The first time you wear these, it feels super strange and like
Totally, man.
you're a giraffe learning how to walk for the first time. But then after a while, after a lot of repetitive motion, you kind of just get used to the push and pull of the motors on the uphill.
At one point,
Excellent penetrator.
Thank you, Dawn. Dawn liked that little video here.
At one point, she says that while she was on a bicycle, when she was on flat terrain,
Did you
she
ever
didn't even
see
have to
we
move
see
her
what she looked
legs.
like? Was she hot?
Yeah, she wasn't bad looking.
She sounded like a Valley girl. Wall Street Journal hires chicks like that? Dude. You know what I'm saying? Dawn was a little excited, though. She said...
Like it and then lick it.
Exactly. We got to take a break. We're coming right back. We're going to put a wrap on this baby on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. If you're like me, dental visits meant cleanings twice a year until suddenly they didn't. As teeth age and wear down, small issues can become complex problems. That's where expertise matters most. At Bentz Dental Group, board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and Dr. Emily Bentz specialize in advanced and complex dental care. They deliver precise diagnosis and customized treatment plans designed for your long-term health. Call 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. They still gave me a medal. I don't want a reward for doing, I want a reward for dominating. Like daily prize match on Bet365. I play for free and win real rewards, like up to $5,000 in cash weekly. Unlike that joker in denim. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply.
For 125 years, the Philadelphia Orchestra's musicians have been the magic makers behind our legendary sound. Join us for these upcoming concerts.
Jazz icon Wynton Marsalis joins the Philadelphia Orchestra and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra for the world premiere of his new Liberty Symphony. The program also features Beethoven's Symphony No. 7, bursting with driving rhythm and energy. Don't miss this historic event. 3 performances only, May 28th, 30th, and 31st.
Get your tickets at philorg.org.
What would you do with up to $10,000 to travel anywhere in the world? Right now, Lemus Remodeling Group is giving homeowners in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware the chance to win big with their 2026 Travel Voucher Sweepstakes. Just enter by May 31st, and you could be packing your bags for the trip of a lifetime. Your dream vacation on Lemus. For official rules and to enter, visit GoLemus.com. That's GoLemus.com. No purchase necessary.
Now we're moving into summer, and it's time we find out how brutal the winter weather was to our home. Hey, it's Rich Izzioli. If you're looking for a contractor that can help you with repairs during this time, or maybe you want to get a jump on those renovations, go with my guys, Emmons. They deliver protection, peace of mind, and true craftsmanship. That's why Emmons has always been my go-to contractor for over 10 years in 2 different homes. And they even just remodeled our kids' bathroom. Plus, you're going to get American-made products, American-made roofing products to lifetime warranted Owens Corning roofs built to handle severe weather, siding that elevates and insulates your home, and made in America, windows and doors that blend style and performance, made in America. Emmons has you covered every step of the way. So go to emmonsroofing.com, upgrade your home with confidence, make sure you tell them I sent you, and always go with the company that I go with because I trust them and they've delivered for me each and every time in 2 different homes. That's Emmons Roofing, emmonsroofing.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days, but at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Create your dream home with a home equity loan from American Heritage Credit Union. With home equity, you have lots of options. You can complete home improvement projects, fund a family vacation, consolidate bills, or pay for school tuition. Celebrating 250 years of the American dream. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/homeequity to learn more. Insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
Vision loss doesn't define us.
And we are here to let those challenged with blinding retinal diseases know.
But together, we are stronger.
We are the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Winding it down. And we want to thank everybody for a fun week. Fun 2 weeks, actually. And the show today is sponsored by Veneria Dental. It's not about cost. It's about care and commitment to dental excellence. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Mike today. Get a level of care that you deserve. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com. We only have about a minute, a little over a minute, right?
Yeah, out of 57. Yeah, you got a couple minutes.
Got a couple minutes here. The one thing I missed was Larry Krasner ripping the Philly, the Bob Brady, the chairman of the Philly Dem. Why was he calling for his resignation? He doesn't want the Democratic Socialists to win? And why is Larry Krasner calling for the resignation of the Democratic Committee headquarters chair?
The clip is pretty funny if you want to hear it.
We have time for it?
Well, we can play a part of it.
Yeah, play it. I want to hear Larry so I can ridicule him.
At one point, somebody screams, F you, Larry.
Oh, I want to hear that. Play it now. Play it.
I say this respectfully. It is time to step aside. I'm up here at Democratic City Committee, which is the halls of power for the leadership of the Democratic Party in Philadelphia. A couple days after Election Day, and I have great news. I'm going to get to continue to work with some great Pennsylvania legislators who are my friends, Sharif Street, Morgan Cephas. I'm going to get to continue to work and collaborate with a great doctor, and that's Dr. Ayla Stanford. But there is also some other news, and that is that the Democratic Party in Philadelphia far too long has spent more time fighting against progressive, fighting against its future, than they have spent fighting against Republicans, fighting against fascists, fighting against...
All right, get that clown out of here. I would have yelled profanity. I would have jumped him right there. Anyway, we want to thank everybody. It's been fun. I got to thank, obviously, the two boys in the other room. And they're not boys, they're men. Matt DeSantis, Justin Otero, our guest today, Michael Letts, L-E-T-T-S. He's the global security expert, talked about Cuba. And Elizabeth Stell from the Commonwealth Foundation, talking about Larry Krasner. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And God bless America. It's still the greatest country on earth. Good night, everybody.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you sick of prices constantly rising, especially in some of your basic health essentials? You're not alone. And Rescue is doing something about it. This Memorial Month, Rescue Natural Supplements is featuring huge rollback prices on all their products, from cholesterol, metabolic support, to their best-selling high-intensity omega-3s. What's more, you can actually stack up your savings. When you buy 2 more bottles, you get a bonus bottles for free. Go to res-q.com to shop these deals. Stock up on your favorites or try something new that fit your health goals. Rescue products are meticulously crafted, rigorously tested, and rooted in the belief that wellness should be personal, effective, and grounded in science.